I know a lot of people are tuning in this morning waiting to hear a certain thing. Oh, boy. A little bit of an issue. Yeah, little HR explosion. I got to dance around it. I can't even really say what I want to say. If you were listen, if you know that there's a situation.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, there is.
So I will address what I can address. It is MJ here with Fester. There is no Roxanne this morning. Hopefully back tomorrow. You know, if she can tow herself, if she can get herself in here. But we got a situation which, you know, HR and all that crap that we tease about.
Yeah.
Oh, well, reality set in maybe just a little bit. I'm sorry to be cryptic, folks, but I'm kind of up against the wall here on a couple of things. And, well, I will address what I can address a little later on regarding the situation here on the MJ Morning Show. So I was traveling yesterday, didn't get a chance to see the Buccaneers. So I know when Michelle was getting ready to pick me up at the airport, she was like, "Oh man, there's a minute left." And, you know, I'm like, "I just wait. I'll just hang out at Blue Express arrivals for a couple of additional minutes before you leave to come pick me up at the airport." And we're very close. You know,
Right.
We're in South Tampa, you know, in West Shore area. So it's pretty close for Michelle to get to the airport. So Bucks lost, what was it, 23-20? It was last minute.
This last second.
Yeah, but the last minute, the 49ers were able to advance a drive, get within field goal range, and it was a tied game, right? It was a 20-20, and then in the last seconds of the game, you had the 49ers able to kick a field goal and beat the Buccaneers 23-20.
I mean, if you watched the last 2 minutes of that game, you saw the whole game. The Buccaneers come back, they tie it up, leave 41 seconds for the 49ers. And
how many seconds?
41.
41 seconds.
And Brock Purdy. Did you know Brock Purdy? And listen, people who know sports know this.
Boy, that's Purdy. You're Purdy.
Purdy.
Hey, boy, you're Purdy.
Did you know
what?
He was, for his draft class, he was the Mr. Irrelevant of the year. He was the last player picked in the draft.
Really?
Yeah, they call that
Wait,
player.
Last player, final round?
Yeah, so the last player picked of the draft is called Mr. Irrelevant.
And that's the final round, final pick.
Right. And usually that guy doesn't make a team.
Mr. Irrelevant?
Mr. Irrelevant, the last guy.
That's what they call him?
Yeah, and see, a lot of guys don't want to be Mr. Irrelevant because if you're not drafted, then you're free to sign with any team.
Right.
But he got picked by the 49ers last place. I think he played quarterback at Iowa State. And
now, I saw the replay. It looked like it went kind of a little wide to the right, and it did hit the upright and then bounced in, right?
It got really close to the upright.
It looked, what I saw, and again, I saw just a clip, it looked like it might have just tapped the upright.
The kicker for the 49ers missed 3 field goals in the game.
Hold, what now?
He missed 3 earlier in the game.
Really?
Yeah. If he would have kicked those 3, this game would have been a blowout.
Well, that would have been an additional 9 points.
Yeah. So he didn't have a great day, but he kicked it when it mattered.
When it mattered, he won the game.
Right.
But still, they got to be eyeing a more reliable kicker.
Yeah, I'm just saying, 3 kicks in the NFL, that seems like a lot.
Well, he's only rolling 25%.
I mean, you only have one job.
Yeah, I mean.
You have one job.
Well, listen, when it comes to the extra point, there was discussion about eliminating the extra point at some point.
What they did was they moved it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was talk about it that it's a given. They always hit it. But then, listen, last couple of Sundays that Michelle and I were watching, we saw numerous times where the point was missed. So it does happen. You know, it seems to be increasing, actually. So they moved it back, what, another 10 yards? 5? Well, I don't even know.
25 yards or so. I don't know. It's fine.
All right, 6:05 at the MJ, what?
Happy Veterans Day today.
Yep, absolutely.
Today's a big day for the veterans, absolutely.
On the list for speaking about numerous times here on the MJ Morning Show, you are correct. So with Veterans Day comes obviously, first and foremost, thank you to all the veterans that have served this country. Don't confuse Veterans Day with Memorial Day, although there are sales on washers and dryers on both days, and it always annoys me with Memorial Day especially. Veterans Day not as much,
Right, yeah.
but Memorial Day, it's a sacred day. It's to memorialize those that fought for this country and lost their lives doing so, and then to cheapen the deal on Memorial Day with, get a great deal on a refrigerator, and hey, the cash is on the dash, and
it is a great time to pick up a Kia.
It's the Memorial Day sale, so that whether it's cars, carpet, appliances, whatever the deal is, when they make a big deal out of the Memorial Day weekend sale, I'm like, it's a solemn day. It's memorializing those that fought for this country and died. Now, Veterans Day, a little more lax.
Different tone.
Yeah, much different tone, because veterans, you can still be alive. I mean, if you serve 5 years in the U.S. Army.
Yes, you can still be alive,
and
yes.
you're 42 years old, or listen, even if you're 28 years old and you served a couple of years in the Navy, the Marines, listen, you're a veteran. I thank you for your service.
Right.
And the fact that, we celebrate veterans, I do appreciate that. And I'm a little less angry. I'm a little more tolerant of your opportunity to get a good deal on a microwave oven today for the Veterans Day sales or whatever they want to pull off. Now, schools, I know that Hillsborough County's closed, and I would imagine, is Hillsborough, no school today for Hillsborough County? Is that?
Yeah, I'm in Hillsborough County.
Yeah.
No school today. It's a federal holiday.
Yeah, so
banks are closed.
Right, so no mail, so no U.S. mail today. It's a bank holiday as well. Right. And what about all the other counties? Are most other counties closed?
I don't know, but I would bet that they are. Nobody's going to make up a hurricane day on a federal holiday.
Yeah, it's
probably
a little tougher to do.
Stock market's closed today.
Oh, it is? Okay.
But the crypto market isn't. Have you seen what's going on over the weekend?
The, like Bitcoin, all that crap?
Bitcoin's over 80.
Yeah.
Dogecoin doubled. That little worthless little meme coin.
Yeah, what is it worth? 7 cents now?
30 cents, 28 cents.
Wow.
I saw it jumping up a couple days ago. Got in at 12. Put the kids' college fund in Dogecoin. All right, maybe I didn't. But put a couple $100 on it. A couple $100 turned to a couple thousand.
Yeah. No thanks for me on the crypto market.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah. And I would have to guess that at some point Bitcoin's going to get another whacking.
We can only hope.
I'm not hoping.
We can all get in.
All right, 6:08 at the MJ Morning Show. Just getting rolling. It's a busy Monday morning, so you don't want to miss a moment. Do us a favor, spread the word. Tell everyone you know. The MJ Morning Show is back. In my travels, ran into somebody that was a huge MJ Morning Show listener when we were on the other station for years and didn't know we were back. So I had another encounter with that. There's a lot of people still don't know we're back on the air with the MJ Morning Show here on 104.7 FM. So if you help spread the word, that's highly appreciated. Traffic's on. Let's grab Shriner with the latest. And we're back in minutes. MJ Morning Show on 104.7 FM.
The earlier...
On at the MJ Morning Show. Monday morning, it's me and Fester this morning. No Roxanne. Little touchy situation. I'll address that a little later on here on the MJ Morning Show. So Andrew, our producer, has handed me the list of the schools that are open today. Andrew, are you sure? Because if we give out erroneous information, if we give out erroneous information, that's not going to be good.
Well, I might have given out erroneous information first segment when I said, I couldn't imagine they would take a federal holiday and use it as a hurricane makeup day.
It turns out that most counties have school today.
Turns out they did.
Hillsborough County does not.
Right.
Hillsborough County Schools is the exception this morning because Hillsborough is open like virtually everything else is closed. So
other way around. Hillsborough's closed. Everything else is open.
What did I say?
You said the reverse of what you should have said.
I'm sorry. Correction. Did I make a mistake? I apologize. Anyway, so everything else is closed and Hillsborough County is open. So. And Fester knows this because both of his kids are in Hillsborough County schools. Your daughter's in what grade?
I don't even know.
Oh, you really don't know?
6, 7, 8, somewhere in there. It's the middle school time.
It's amazing. And then your son, second grade?
Second grade. He's in second grade.
Your son is in second grade.
Only because in car line, you have to say the kid's name and the grade.
Otherwise, so that's how you know that.
Yes.
But you don't know really what grade your daughter's in.
6, 7, or 8. One of those three.
All right. Hillsborough County schools are open. The other schools are closed. So Citrus, did I say that right this time? Hillsborough
County is closed.
Did I screw up again?
You might have.
What the hell am I doing here?
We're not the place.
What the hell is wrong with me?
We are not the place to come for school closures and openings.
Hillsborough County is open.
Closed.
I'm sorry. Hillsborough County's closed.
Closed.
All right. Hillsborough County schools closed today.
No school today.
No, Hillsborough County, no school.
Only in Hillsborough County.
All right.
Every other county.
Open.
We really shouldn't be going. Listen, if you don't know, if you wait till 6:23 in the morning to find out if your kid's going to school,
you're screwed.
Yeah, I mean, you got bigger problems than us.
Exactly. Sorry, listen, my kids are well out of school, so yeah. All right, so Hillsborough County is closed. Hold on. We're also hearing that Polk is closed as well.
Well, I'm getting Pasco's open.
Hang on. Here's the list.
Let's go on the list.
This is the list that Andrew gave me.
All right, so
this is open.
We can blame Andrew.
All right. Citrus is open. DeSoto, Hardee, Highlands, open. Manatee, open. Pasco, open. Pinellas, open. Sarasota is opened today. All right, so it looks like it's Polk and Hillsborough are closed.
That's a lot of work for a school calendar.
Holy crap, I'm exhausted. I want to take a nap now.
Now, when the original...
Son of a... do we have this right now?
When the calendar came out, they would have taken today off. Like when the calendar was announced in, last year, Veterans Day was probably a holiday, but I guess they're using it for a hurricane makeup day.
Oh, my God. I feel like a moron.
We really shouldn't be talking on this subject. With all respect to all parties involved.
Oh, man. Hey, anybody have a hangover? Anybody coming off the weekend with a hangover? Well, maybe, listen, football last night and yesterday. Anybody all drunk still? Anybody hungover? Well, I have. What are you going to say?
I say a lot of drunk people downtown Tampa this weekend with the Flugtag.
Oh, yeah. The Flugtag.
Flugtag, yeah. A lot of my friends went to that and said it was really hot.
Oh, the temperatures were hot.
It was a warm weekend for November.
I heard that if you went to the Flugtag, you were roasting. You were just baking in the sun. Yeah. Last Flugtag we had in Tampa was like 13 years ago. And I know that because I was a judge. I was one of the Flugtag judges. I was asked by Red Bull to be a judge, even though I've never had a Red Bull in my life. and I don't drink energy drinks. But
Listen.
I had a good time. It was fun, watching these, idiotic contraptions.
Launch.
Yeah, well, really not really launch, more
Attempt
like
to launch.
drop like a rock. Yeah, so Flugtag. I was a judge along with, who was I with? I was with Evan Longoria from the Rays back then, and it's like maybe like 8 judges, and I was one of the judges at the Flugtag back in what year was it? 13 years ago? Would have been 2011, right?
Maybe somewhere around
Yeah,
there.
I think it was 2011 when I did the thing.
This year you have been replaced with a YouTuber.
Oh, great!
Yeah.
An influencer.
So Vasilevsky was a judge. Derek Brooks was a judge.
Vasilevsky?
Yes, he was.
Really?
An Olympian, Caroline Marks, who won a gold medal as a pro surfer.
Yeah.
And she's a Red Bull athlete.
Right.
And then some YouTuber.
I don't know. When I hear Red Bull athlete, it kind of
What happens is
doesn't kind of comport,
Red Bull has leagues for the 3rd and 4th tier sports that don't get the recognition.
But these energy drinks are, listen, if you want to have a scattered energy drink, that's fine. But these energy drinks are not very healthy for you. They're not recommended. The amount of caffeine and sugar and
it's a whole other business model. These events that they put on.
I get it. All right, so back to the hangover deal.
Yes.
What is the best hangover cure? Now, this has been a perennial, perpetual question. What is the best hangover cure? Anybody? Bueller? Anybody?
I've always been like an aspirin and Gatorade kind of guy.
Yeah, so you have, all these recommendations, all these suggestions. My lovely wife, Michelle, she has always been of the belief, and she says that this works, from her younger days. Michelle said that if you're going to be drinking a lot, you just got to drink a lot of water. So if you're going to be consuming a lot of alcoholic beverages, you have to intersperse, and you have to, have a good deal of water while you're consuming your alcohol. But it turns out, interestingly, that, you have a ton of remedies, you have a ton of suggestions, you have all of these, wives' tales and all of the hangover lore on how to prevent a hangover or how to treat a hangover. In fact, Fessy, you just brought up your own little list right here.
From Harvard.
Oh, Harvard Health.
And I'll tell you, the first thing they recommend is what Michelle does. Drink a little bit of water.
Michelle's been saying that for how long have I known Michelle? I've known Michelle since 1987 or 1988. I think it might have been 88. And Michelle, I've always heard Michelle say that you prevent the hangover by drinking a lot of water. Well, how do you cure a hangover? Let's say you've already drunk like a fish. How do you prevent it? New research is out. And there's a study which has just been published in the Addictive Behaviors Journal.
I have to have it.
Yeah, why don't you subscribe to that?
I have a subscription like any good addict.
It's the journal Addictive Behaviors, and this involved 1,676 undergraduate students who had experienced at least one hangover in the past 3 months. All the participants did at least 30 minutes of moderate physical activity per week. And they completed online questionnaires assessing their alcohol consumption patterns, physical activity levels, the frequency and severity of hangover symptoms. Activity levels were scored by calculating the intensity of the activity. Anyway, the findings indicated a significant association between physical activity and hangover symptoms. Unsurprisingly, people who consume more alcohol experience hangovers more frequently and with greater severity, but these associations were reduced in people who engaged in vigorous physical activity such as running, suggesting that higher levels of exercise may reduce the severity of hangover symptoms.
I'll tell you, it's a great excuse to get it on after a heavy night of drinking. So have a little physical activity for a while.
I'm just saying that if you are physically active prior to drinking like a maniac, or maybe working out afterward, it looks like physical activity reduces the severity of the hangover. And I mean, it kind of makes sense. You're active, maybe you're jamming up your metabolism, maybe speeding, or just in generally better physical condition, that your body's just processing things better. but that's in this new journal deal from, what was it, the Journal Addictive Behavior,
I'll take
of which Fester's going to be he's going to be the most recent subscriber to that journal.
I'm addicted to it. I'm going to be the cover guy.
Look at the valuable information you get from the MJ Morning Show. And you know what else I have? I'll get to this later on. There is also additional research. This is unrelated. This is totally separate, but it has to do with exercise. That there are 2 times a day when, if you exercise, it'll reduce your chance of colorectal cancer risk. You're like, what?
How'd they come up with this?
Well, they come up with all kinds. Listen, they got all these journals to fill, man. They come up with all kinds of crap. And you know, remember the dude from Dawson's Creek?
Vanderbeek. James Vanderbeek.
Yeah, James Vanderbeek. He was just diagnosed with like colorectal cancer. Yeah, that was just announced last week. I had it in my celebrity pile. I didn't get around to it. So I got this little item we'll get to later on here on the MJ Morning Show. But first, you know what's next? Early morons in the news. People love it. Gotta love a great pile of early morons in the news, and that rolls next on the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. You don't want to miss this. Hey, And here we go, 6:41 at the MJ Morning Show. Yeah, it's just me, MJ, along with Fester this morning. Andrew's in the booth. No Roxanne. We'll discuss what I can. A little situation has brewed. All right, so we'll discuss things a little later on. Probably next hour, 7 o'clock hour here on the MJ Morning Show. First, early, it's always something. You know what? If it's not one thing, it's another. It's always something.
That's where it goes.
Always something. All right, early morons in the news. Man, I got a kind of a twisted, wacky pile today. This caught my attention. Woman smoking blows up her Dodge Charger.
Wow.
All righty. Nothing like a woman smoking and then blowing up her Dodge Charger.
Was she at the gas station?
Would you like me to give you the details here? A woman was in her Dodge Charger for about 30 seconds in Charlotte, North Carolina, having lit a cigarette when an explosion blew out the windows, seriously injuring her and starting a raging fire. But the incident has led to many questions as to how the hell can this happen?
Oh, my God, look at the picture of this.
I know, I saw this. Yeah, there's a still.
That's like ring cam or something, or
there's
security
some kind of ring or security camera, and there's a still shot. And, I mean, it blew out the window. I mean, insane. It's like, what's going on here?
And she's in that. She's in that fire?
When you look at the car, it looks like the opening scene of Casino, where Robert De Niro is in his caddy, and he's coming out of the restaurant, and the whole damn thing blows up. Yeah, they tried to take him out, but it turned out on that certain year caddy, there was a metal plate for balance underneath the driver's seat.
Saved him.
Saved him.
Yeah.
And that's actually a true story. There was some kind of bizarrely. Hey, Andrew, do me a favor. You know me and my stupid minutia. Can you look that up real quick? Type in casino, and I think it was a Cadillac Eldorado, and there was a certain year. Find the details. Certain year, there was some kind of a balance issue, and they had to jury rig some kind of metal plate under the car to add some balance to the vehicle so it wouldn't vibrate or shimmy or something. And that was a real deal, and they worked that into the movie where it's saved. Look, hold on. Hang on, just get all the information. I'll come to you in a second.
Yeah, we got to talk about the lady in the exploding Charger first.
This is nuts. Wow. Cars don't suddenly explode like this, even with someone smoking inside, but a report from WSOC television up in South Carolina, or North Carolina, rather, indicates the source of the explosion came from a propane tank that was left in the Charger's trunk.
Come on.
Oh, my. So a propane, which, by the way, I'm going to be using a propane tank for my turkey fryer.
Yeah, you don't store it in your car, especially when it has a slight leak.
Right. So apparently this propane tank was in the trunk and got jostled around, and the valve must have just been opened just a little bit. It wasn't like a psh. It was more like a little, just a little bitty leak.
I thought propane has like an aroma.
Yeah, it does. They add natural gas as well, don't they? They add
add something to it.
a rotten egg smell.
So you smell it.
Yeah, because natural gas doesn't have a smell per se. They add that smell so you can smell in the neighborhood whether there's a natural gas leak or there's a natural gas leak in your house. So apparently there was a propane tank in the lady's trunk, and all it took was the cigarette, the lighter, whatever it was that caused the... Oh, my God.
Look at the whole house.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It burnt the front of the house off. I mean, it's a crazy story. It's unbelievable. I believe the Charger was yellow.
It was.
The Charger was like bumblebee yellow, and the aftermath. The thing is, it's now a black and gray is the new exterior paint color of the Charger.
Oh no, the reporter introing the story is wearing a yellow dress.
Oh, it's exactly. Hey, bring this up. This is from some TV
This
channel.
is a SOCKS.
What is it?
WSOC.
Where did you come up with the KS?
For some reason, when you said SOC, I thought of socks.
All right, go roll it back to the beginning. Here we go. Listen to this.
I saw like a bomb went off.
A witness describes this dramatic moment when this car explodes in this driveway in Northwest Charlotte. A Ring camera shows the moment the explosion caused the vehicle to go up in flames, and those flames spread to the house.
Now, this happened at a home on Wandering Creek Drive near Pleasant Grove Road, and a woman who was inside is now in the hospital.
Wow.
Erica Jackson joining us now. She's been following this story for us and has the very latest for us tonight. Erica?
Yeah, I want you to take a look because the heat of the flames was so intense, it started melting the siding on the home next door.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm going to have you take a closer look at this property across the street. You can see from the driveway up to the roof, that front right side of the house.
You need lighting.
Completely destroyed. And that once yellow sedan that's
you
parked
need
in the
lights on the
driveway
house.
now
Oh my God, this is like a video blooper.
Relatives tell me they are on their way to a burn center in Winston-Salem to see the woman who was in that car when it exploded.
Yep. It exploded.
Watch carefully
Yeah, I'm
as
watching.
a woman steps into this yellow car in her driveway.
Getting into it.
Fast forward about 30 seconds.
Yeah, let me light
the
a
car
cigarette.
Explodes
boom!
as she's still inside. The woman darts out of the driver's seat as flames crackle in the back.
I heard a big boom. I was in the house or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? Then it came out.
Neighbor Diego Ledbetter says he realized his neighbor was in the car when he watched his surveillance camera's footage.
They showed the whole thing blazing. The car was just on fire at one point in time, and then the car led to the house being on fire.
Wow.
The video shows a man run out of the home. He tries to put out the car fire with a fire extinguisher. Ledbetter says he dialed 911 as the man was screaming for help.
Oof.
I seen my neighbor said that this car had a propane tank in the back and it blowed up.
It blowed up.
It blowed up. He's right.
It blowed up. Blowed up.
That Diego guy's a great witness there.
It blowed up. It would be. It blew up.
Andrew, we might need that as an ISO or something.
Oh,
it blowed up.
There's a lot of good stuff on here.
It blowed up.
Yeah,
he's right.
There's a lot of good stuff on this thing.
Says the woman was taken to the hospital with serious burns.
Ugh.
We spotted her family trying to salvage what's left in the home. Relatives tell us they're praying for her recovery.
Yeah, I mean, the whole front of the house is like a charred mess as well.
I'm sure the house is.
She not only blowed up the car, she blowed up the house.
She blowed it all up.
Ledbetter says he's grateful no one else was hurt.
I'm glad my house didn't burn up. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
I know what you're saying. But the reason why I wanted to do this story is because this is a warning. Don't leave a propane tank in your trunk because it could get jostled and the valve, all it has to do is just turn a little bit. You got a little slow leak. The whole trunk, the whole car fills with propane.
And then you get blowed up.
You get inside, you light a match, you hit a lighter, you light a cigarette, and yeah, you get blowed up. All blowed up.
It's so funny. The reporter's like, he's glad nobody else was injured. And he's like, man, I'm glad my house didn't burn down. You know what I mean? He's right.
Listen, public service. Listen, a lot more people are going to be going to get their propane tanks filled. Thanksgiving's coming up. I'm going to be one of the many. I just ordered a new turkey deep fryer kit. I decided to, juice up my act a little bit, and I ordered the fully stainless steel Bayou Classics turkey fryer kit.
So you travel with the propane tank in your car, but as soon as you get home, you
take the damn thing out.
Keep it in your garage.
So if you go buy one, you pick it up, you get your Blue Rhino or your AmeriGas or whatever the heck it is. You make sure that the tank is secured and it's not rolling around with the valve opening up, filling your car with propane.
Yeah, and then before you keep it in your garage, just give the valve a little tightening. Make sure it's nice and tight.
Yeah, make sure it's closed up. And listen, I believe the tank at my house, I believe, has enough propane to. I got to double check that because that's going to suck. You're halfway through cooking your turkey and your propane tank runs out. That'd be a disaster.
Yeah, that would suck. Yeah.
That would really suck bad. So I just got to make sure that my propane tank is at the appropriate level, and I'm going to make sure that I don't leave it in my vehicle and make sure that the valve is not slightly open, filling my car with propane. And the other good thing is I'm not a smoker. But listen, any kind of spark can just, they say that if you have a gas leak in a house, you flick a light switch and just the spark from the light switch, could cause an explosion.
If she would have turned her ignition, there's a spark somewhere in that, isn't there? I don't know.
Could have been.
I'm not a mechanic.
Well, you have spark plugs in the engine compartment. I don't know if that would have done it.
I don't know.
But, man, this is a crazy damn story. I'll tell you that. Wow. All right, early morons in the news. I still have additional stories I didn't get to. Maybe I'll carry a few over to the next segment. But we're loaded today on a Monday on Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you to all veterans for their service to this country. 7 o'clock hour. MJ Morning Show starts next, and it's just Fester and me today. There's no Roxanne. That's a whole different story on a different level than what you might have heard on Friday's show, which I kind of want to address, but I can't fully address, but I have to address, so I got to dance. All right, so that's coming up on the MJ Mornings. Do they scrub Friday's podcast, or is that still up? Still up? All right, I got a little HR issue. It's always something. It's not one thing, it's another. I was waiting for a letter from Mr. Richard Fader from Fort Lee, New Jersey. All right, 7 o'clock hour, minutes away here on the MJ Morning Show. Stand by. 7:01 at the MJ Morning Show. MJ here with Fester. No Roxanne on this Monday. We'll discuss what we can discuss coming up in a little bit. We'll start an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ Morning Show at about 7:25. That's an everyday deal, folks. 1 hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ happens every morning right around 7:25, and this morning will be no exception. Hey, did you find the exploding car scene, Fester, on YouTube?
I did.
All right, from the movie Casino?
Yes.
All right, so if you were just tuning in now, you might have missed our last segment, obviously. And we were talking about this woman who blew up her Dodge Charger. She had a yellow Dodge Charger, which is now black and gray because the paint melted off this thing. And her vehicle exploded because there was a propane tank in the trunk. And apparently the valve got jostled and was leaking, so the car filled with propane. This is just a good public service. Don't drive around with a propane tank in the trunk of your car. And she gets in, lights a cigarette in her car, and the damn thing blows up with her inside. She gets out. She had some serious injuries. She didn't die. She was taken to the hospital, etc. And I made some kind of a comment about, cars blowing up and the scene from the movie Casino. The movie Casino was 1995, and Robert De Niro comes out. He's the casino boss, and someone's trying to kill him.
Yeah, somebody's trying to off the boss. And
Right.
He went to breakfast, and he's walking out to the car.
Yep.
And I guess it was a particular year.
Yeah, so, and I found on, because I remember when I saw this movie, and I read the book Casino, I remember looking this up. And for whatever reason, you know what? Because I've seen the movie like 39 times. I love Goodfellas. I love Casino. And I've seen the movie a jillion times. But probably 5-6 years ago, I decided to read the book. So I bought a copy of Casino. I just found some old used copy for like $2. And, by the way, if you see Nick Reeder today, tell Nick I want my copy back. Hey, Nick, do you still have my Casino book? I lent it to Nick. So, Nick Reeder, do you still have my Casino book, or do you toss that? Give me my Casino book back, please. All right. So, in the book, it just goes into more detail about the explosion. A little bit more. But in the movie, it talks about how the 1981, I guess it's the Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz.
Biarritz?
Is it Biarritz? It's Biarritz, whatever. I guess that's a trim level. And apparently, this 81 Cadillac had a metal plate built into the floor under the driver's seat for balancing reasons, that there was some kind of a balancing problem with the vehicle, and the engineers, the crack engineers up at General Motors,
What great engineering.
they put a metal plate under the floor to balance the vehicle somehow.
Let's make it heavier.
And apparently it was that metal plate that saved Robert De Niro in the movie. Is this the scene?
Yeah, I think it's
All
the
right.
only scene where they don't curse for 30 seconds
All right.
straight.
Are you sure there's no F-bomb in this?
You know what? I'm not.
All right, go ahead, roll it. All right, so he's coming out of the restaurant in Vegas. That's a nice salmon-colored tie and jacket he's wearing. So he's smoking.
When you love someone, you've got to trust them. There's no other way.
Better not be a curse here.
You've got to give them the key to everything that's yours.
So there he is, getting into his caddy.
Otherwise, what's the point?
So he gets into his caddy,
And for a while, I believed that's the kind of love I had.
closes the door. Oh, man. And the car just blows up. And then in the movie, he explains that particular model year had the metal plate.
Yes. Is it true?
What?
Is it true? Did it really have that model year?
well-
Did it really have the plate?
Well, here's the deal. I mean, there are a ton of stories online that say it, but it also mentions that the TV show Mythbusters, they think the plate is a luxury upgrade and not a bomb-proof feature. I guess they tested it.
yeah, it's not a bomb-proof feature.
Well,
yes.
but Andrew said something that Mythbusters couldn't find a metal plate on the. What do you find, Andrew?
There's a video online of Mythbusters. They took the car apart. They put drills to the bottom. They could not find a metal plate.
Interesting. But there are plenty of stories online that say there was a metal plate underneath the driver's seat.
For balancing purposes, yeah.
Exactly, for balancing purposes.
Here's a different scene.
All right,
Maybe-
hold on, roll this back.
All right, I don't know what the language is on this.
So he's coming out of like, what's the rib place? The thing-
Tony Roma's.
Yeah, he's coming out of Tony Roma's.
The place for ribs.
Right. So here he
No matter
goes.
What the feds or the papers might have said about my car bombing, it was amateur night. You could tell. Whoever it was, they put the dynamite under the passenger side. But what they didn't know, what nobody outside the factory knew, was that model car was made with a metal plate under the driver's seat. It's the only thing that saved my life.
There you go. So one of the morning shows talking about exploding cars in the movie Casino. It's fantastic. All right, so additional morons in the news. We spent a lot of time with the exploding Charger, and that's turned into a public service announcement.
Seriously,
Do
people.
not have a propane tank in the trunk of your car and drive all over town with the damn thing, because it could explode if you have any kind of a spark, light a match, light a cigarette, because of a leaking propane tank, because if it's in the trunk, it's rattling around, and the valve could get opened up, and that's what happened to the lady up in Charlotte, North Carolina. And with tons of people coming Thanksgiving time, you got tons of people going to be, getting their propane tanks filled. Plenty of people fry a turkey. I'm going to be frying a turkey. I got to check my propane tank to make sure I've got enough propane in there. All right, so speaking of cooking, this also caught my attention. Another reason why people flip out, I mean, there's obviously countless, endless reasons on why people have altercations and fight. This is a new one to me. A guy here in Florida, this is down in South Florida, this is down in Miami. A Miami man was arrested last week, stabbed his brother in the neck while he was cooking. What could his brother have done down in Miami to warrant a stabbing in the neck?
I mean, there's so many things. I mean,
there is.
Overcooking pasta.
Oh, that drives me nuts.
Right?
Oh, especially you go to an Italian restaurant and you get a mushy mess. You get some rigatoni, you get some penne or spaghetti, and it's a mush fest. I mean, spaghetti and pasta should be al dente.
I'm not looking for super chewy pasta, but I don't want mush either.
You should. It's got to be cooked right. It's got to be al dente. You should have a little bit of a bite. But mushy pasta, that is the freaking worst. I mean, it's like, taking a piece of Wonder Bread and just letting it sit in water. That's the worst.
Does it warrant a stabbing in the neck?
Well, I never said that this was pasta related.
You just asked what could it be.
I never said this was an al dente problem.
No, I'm not assuming that. You said what is the reason? I'm thinking of legitimate reasons. One, not stirring. Two, not stirring the sauce.
This is going to get you very, very interested, folks. This is going to put you in tune with something that people do in the kitchen all the time. And will this gross you out? Why did it happen? Why did a Miami man stab his brother in the neck? Because he was talking over the food while he was cooking. And if you're talking over the food,
you're filling it with your spittle.
Yep. So it might not be clear. You might not be spraying it instead of saying it. But even if there's no, and we all know spit talkers. We all know the folks that they're spitting and that's like the worst thing. I mean, someone's talking to you and a piece of spit flies out of their mouth and hits you like in your mouth.
I mean, it happens.
Hits you in your nose, your eye. I mean, we've all had this happen. And that's just the worst thing. That's the most embarrassing. And if you're the spit talker, if you're talking and a piece of spit flies out of your mouth into somebody's face, you're kind of hoping, did they see that? No, did they miss that? Did they see it? So then you have the people that'll start swatting and swiping, but then you'll have the folks that kind of play it off like, I'm just going to ignore that piece of spit that flew out of the spit talker's mouth. You know what I'm talking about?
They just stand there, the spittle on their lip.
Yeah. Or are you the person that's, I'm sorry, and you go to wipe the spit off their face?
I've never apologized for spitting in somebody's face.
There are multiple reactions that people have to spit talkers, whether you're the spitter or whether you're the recipient of the spit talker. But we all know that's just one of those, embarrassing situations. But turns out that the brother was just pissed off at the brother for talking over the food, knowing that even if there's no specific or if there's no actual detection of spit coming out, if you're talking over the food, there is invisible spittle or spray or droplets that are coming out of your mouth that are going into the food. There's no doubt about it.
Is there any word or report on what the brother was cooking?
Hang on, let me give you the rest of the details. Alexander Rodriguez, 20, stabbed his brother in the neck with a kitchen knife at their home in Miami. This is last week. They got into an argument. This is all according to the police report. The brother took off to a bedroom as Rodriguez followed behind and sliced his arm and face. When police and fire and rescue all arrived, the brother was covering his stab wounds with clothing. He was taken to a nearby hospital in stable condition. Rodriguez fled from the home but was found hiding in a nearby tree after police set up a perimeter and they took him into custody. When detectives interviewed Rodriguez, he told them that he got irritated because his brother kept talking over the food. And he was just aggravated. He didn't want his brother's spit in the food. So, rightfully so, the brother assumed that if the brother, his brother, is talking over the food, yes, there is a degree of spit, even if it's not like a big flick of spit that kind of just flies out of the mouth and it's detectable.
The brother didn't just pull a huck tour in the middle of the meal. Yeah,
but
just talking.
Normal talking, there's stuff. I don't know if you've ever seen this, folks, but there are like videos that are done in the right lighting environment, like slow motion photography, like high frames per second. And there's some stuff that will gross you out that you will want to be like 12 to 15 feet away from people when having a conversation. But if you're standing right next to somebody,
you're getting showered with their germs.
You are. If you're like in an office environment or anywhere, you're at a cocktail party, you're at an event, and you're standing in a group of people, and you guys are, whatever the comfortable space is, like, there's that distance, and we all know what I'm talking about. There's the distance where you've got the close talker, and it's too close, but there's that right spacing if you're talking to somebody, or if you're in the hallway at work and you're having a conversation. There's just that normal, acceptable distance that you are from a person that just feels right. Sometimes it's too far, sometimes it's too close, and then you've got the Goldilocks position where it's just right. But even in that just right position, if you're having a conversation, there's just all kinds of spittle that's coming out of somebody's face. And there are different videos and simulations and computer graphics that are out there that will simulate a sneeze. It'll simulate a cough.
Oh, these are gross.
Right. But then there's just normal talking that if you're just 2 feet away from somebody and you're just face to face and talking, your spit is going all over them, and it's on your face. You're breathing it in. It's like all over your nose. It's pretty disgusting.
If you can smell their breath.
I want to start talking like Rosanna, Dana or something. Anyway, that's a stabbing down in Miami in the Rodriguez family. You talk over the food, folks. That's a stabbing.
That's poor police work right there, not telling us what the guy was cooking.
No, we don't know. That's not in the police report what they were cooking.
Real shoddy work.
I tell you what, Fester, if you want to go above and beyond the call of duty, if you want to get a hold of Mr. Rodriguez and make an inquiry and just ask what was being cooked that your brother was talking over while he was attending the stove, where you thought that the spit from his spit talking went into the food. Yeah, I'm sure you could probably track him down and ask him what was actually being cooked.
Yeah, good luck tracking down a Rodriguez in Miami. Yeah, great. I'm sure it's a piece of cake.
Dude, we have the arrest report. We have the address. We have all. Dude, what's wrong with you? You're gonna have all the information to track it. I'm not asking you to blindly just start poking around.
Because a Rodriguez in Miami would be a little challenging.
But just think for 2 seconds. You've got the police report with the full names and the address. I mean, hello.
Let me make
it's not that hard.
Let me make a request.
You don't need to make a request. The police report's online. Find the damn thing, and we got all the information you need. I've got it right here.
You know the Rodriguez in Miami line was just a joke. You know that, right?
I realize that.
I mean to get your ass bent out of shape out of here.
But your joke has just tons of holes.
Sometimes jokes have holes. It's okay. It's a joke. That's why it's a joke.
Don't hit me with jokes with holes. I don't like jokes with holes.
You're
all I'm saying.
You're such a joke hole. You are such a joke hole, man.
All right. 7:16 at the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. We start an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ next. It is myself, MJ, along with Fester. There is no Roxanne today. I was instructed not to talk about it. I was told I can't talk about it.
Who'd you piss off?
There are some internal corporate HR issues I was not supposed to say, apparently. There's all kinds of concerns. They're worried about legal issues now. And I was told, listen, I could be doing this my job could be in jeopardy. I could be a goner. So, listen, I got nothing to lose. But I need to, just dance around things. If you were intrigued with something that came up on Friday's show about somebody not here on Friday's show and also not here today. If anything caught your attention on Friday, I cannot specifically address. I've been instructed. I've been issued an ultimatum and an edict.
Really?
But I have to dance. So if you want to watch me tap dance next, I suggest you stand by because we're back in minutes here on the Fester. Why are you laughing?
I'm waiting to hear how many holes are in this story so I can call you a joke hole again.
All right, hang on. Well, that and a whole lot more because we've got an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ. And I guarantee you'll be entertained or your money back in minutes here on the MJ Morning Show. It is 7:26 at the MJ Morning Show, and this is it. Every single morning at this time, we launch like a rocket. An hour and 20 minutes of non-stop MJ Morning Show, and this morning is no different. It is Veterans Day. We are live today. There are a bunch of schools that are closed today. There are a few counties that are open today. We tried to go through the list earlier, and we were just a bunch of butchering hacks. But and I think Fester said it best. I don't know where he is. He's disappeared. So I'm all by myself. No Roxanne today. That's a whole different situation, which is kind of morphed and snowballed, and I'm in trouble. So I will address the best I can in just a moment. But Fester, you said here, Fester's back in the room.
Yes.
Fester, you said, I think, most eloquently this morning that if you don't know whether your kid has school today or whether they do have school today, if you're still trying to figure it out, you're screwed up.
Yeah, you might want to look at yourself as a parent if you're relying on us to tell you when your kid has school.
So I guess it turns out Hillsborough and Polk are closed, right?
Yes.
Hillsborough and Polk counties are closed today, but like almost all the other counties are open on Veterans Day. A bunch of the counties were, I guess, supposed to be closed, but they're open because of, listen, they got a lot of hurricane days to make up, obviously.
Truth is, we really don't know the whole deal, but you know if your kid goes to school or not. At least I hope you do.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to put it. So you were kind of, again, folks, we have so much stuff to cover. There's just a lot, and this is going to be a very packed, very fluid, action-packed, fast-moving hour and 20 minutes. You sent me an item last night, and you were just shocked. You're like, how the hell does someone just get hit by a train?
How the hell does somebody just get hit by a train?
Exactly what I just said.
I mean, you hear about it occasionally. I'm like, a car, I understand. Cars are fast. They're whipping around corners. You don't see them coming from miles away.
Vehicle gets stuck on the tracks, or you got some schmuck that tries to beat the train and drive around the crossing arm. I mean, all this stuff happens. But you want to know, we have a local story a Tampa story about somebody hit by a train, a pedestrian, and you want to know, and your question was, how the hell does someone get hit by a train?
Have you ever stood next to a train when they blow their horn? It's debilitatingly loud.
It is loud.
I mean, you can't do anything else other than cower and just wait for it to end.
All right, so Fester's amazed by this because somebody was hit by a CSX freight train on Friday night here in Tampa. It was on the tracks near North Florida Avenue. There's, I guess, a CSX train which was stopped in the intersection near East Bush Boulevard. No injuries to the crew members. Duh.
Yeah, they're in a train.
Yes, they're in a. How many tons is the engine? Is the locomotive in that thing? So yeah, I wouldn't expect there to be any injuries to anybody on the freight train. The person that was hit, that's a whole different story. I've not seen an update to what the condition is on the person that was hit.
Yeah, probably not good.
Yeah, probably not good. What, doctor? Can we get the official position?
Not good.
Exactly.
Let's go with that, nurse.
The official diagnosis of person hit by train is
not good at all.
Not good, doctor. Do you concur?
I concur.
I concur.
Doctor?
I concur. Do you concur, doctor?
I concur, yes.
Do you concur? I concur. I concur. I concur.
They unanimously agree. They all concurred. This guy's probably not in great shape.
Yeah, there were 2 crew members on the train, which was transporting mixed freight. And Fester's just fascinated and perplexed about how someone gets hit by a train. I know that we did a story. We did something a couple of years ago, and it was a jogger that had ear pods in and was just jamming out. First of all,
I mean, but you have to be really cranking up that music to not hear that horn.
Yeah, if you're on the train tracks, and maybe they thought that, hey, if I see a train coming, I'm fine. What they didn't bank on, the train was coming from behind them. And I know there was a jogger story, and the jogger was hit by the train. I think they died. But that's pretty stupid to be jogging on the train tracks, and you've got ear pods or earbuds in, and they're blasting, and you can't hear the train horn.
I mean,
that's a pretty stupid. Or the other thing is you have somebody that's drugged out or somebody drunk off their ass that, is walking on the train tracks or falls on the train tracks. Oh, we've heard about taking a nap on the train tracks.
Is it that comfortable?
Oh, it's like, it's like a...
it's like a sleep number bed.
It is. I was trying to think of the memory foam mattress. What's that one called?
I don't know.
What's the memory foam one? Yeah.
It's like the purple mattress, the Casper mattress.
Yeah, whatever.
But,
well, there's 100,000 mattress companies out there. Oh, I was thinking of Tempur-Pedic.
Yes. So you hear about people getting hit by trains, and I'm like, they rattle the ground.
They do.
You can stand near them.
Why can't you hear the vibration?
Right.
Or feel the vibration? Yeah.
A couple of months ago, we saw a train going slowly parallel to US 41,
right.
And I pulled over down one of the side streets, and I took out a bunch of pennies. And me and the kids, like a bunch of idiots, laid pennies on the train track. And we stood back, 30, 40 feet as the train passed, and they flattened the pennies.
And what if you would have, gotten your foot stuck in the tie, and here comes the train, and, oh, my God, Fester's foot is stuck in the train track. What do we do?
I'd have been in early morons in the news.
Yeah.
But, you could feel the whole earth shaking around you, and the horn is the loudest thing ever.
What if you put a penny down, you end up derailing the train?
I mean, I just get in the car and go home.
Yeah, I did that once. We used to spend a bunch of summer weekends down in Edenton, North Carolina. So when I was growing up in Virginia Beach, my neighbors, Diane and Melvin, they had a little summer home they built right on the Albemarle Sound in Edenton, North Carolina.
Yeah.
So we used to take the 1.5-hour drive or whatever it was from Virginia Beach down to Edenton. And you pass through Hertford, home of Catfish Hunter, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, just thought I'd point that out. And Melvin's brother-in-law, or Diane's brother, he was down a little further. He had a home, and there used to be a train trestle. It's not there anymore. I don't know what they did with the train, but there used to be a train trestle bridge that went across the Albemarle Sound in Edenton, and the brother of Diane had a home right next to the tracks. And I remember that I was probably, 11 years old, 10, 11, no, probably 11 or 12. And we put pennies and quarters down on the track. And so I did that once as well, flatten those things out.
It's a fun and slightly sketchy activity to do with the kids, but still, get hit by a train. I mean, we saw it coming 3/4 of a mile away. I'm like, okay, get back. It's a half a mile away.
The situation involving the situation that I brought up on Friday, which is very uncomfortable. There's a situation that has developed from the situation, so I have to address that in just a few minutes here on the MJ Morning Show. First, let's address the Buccaneers loss. My God, what is this, like 4 losses in a row? I mean, they're not going to make a wild card, are they?
They might.
Is there a chance? I mean, listen, the Buccaneers, just write this season off.
No, they are still in a position to where they could possibly win their division because every other team kind of sucks too.
Anyway, listen, this is not a great season for the Bucs. Obviously, it's very challenging that you've got Mike Evans out, you've got Chris Godwin out. I mean, we've got additional injuries that have plagued the Bucs. So final score, and I was traveling yesterday, so I didn't see this, but Michelle was home. You know, I went down to Fort Lauderdale to see my dad, who's in the hospital. He's in the respiratory ICU. That's a whole different. I got people yelling at me for something that happened in the ICU. I posted a video on my Instagram, folks, and this is why you ought to follow me on Instagram right now. Certified MJ Radio. You should follow me on Instagram. My private personal Instagram is Certified MJ Radio. And there's something I posted that bent a few people out of shape. I mean, come on. I'll address that in a minute. My God, I'm like living a Curb Your Enthusiasm life over here. All right, first, though, the Buccaneers lost to the 49ers 23-20. What was it, 40-something seconds on the clock?
41 seconds.
Yeah. So I get off the plane yesterday from Fort Lauderdale, and Michelle's like, have you landed? I said, yeah, I'm on the tram right now. Well, I'm just watching the last couple of minutes of the game. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'll just wait at Blue Express for you to pick me up, blah, blah, blah. So Buccaneers end up losing 23-20 because with a minute or so left, you had the 49ers were able to drive it down the field, get into field goal position.
Well, the Bucs tie it up with a couple of seconds left on the clock. About 41 seconds left.
Right.
The Bucs tie the game.
Yep.
And then you give the 49ers another shot.
The ball, so with under a minute, they're able to move it down the field, get into field goal position, and kick a field goal. And the field goal kicker for the 49ers, he sucks, right?
He missed 3.
He missed 3 field goals during the course of the game, and he's got to hit the winning field goal? You couldn't make it 4 misses?
He made it by...
You turd face!
He made it by like a hair.
All right, anyway, Todd Bowles obviously not happy. If you missed Todd Bowles in the press conference at the end after the Bucs loss, here is Todd Bowles.
Well, I think we've all had about enough of this game.
All right. Then he went on to say,
I don't know why I'm telling you this, but it's true.
All right. And then he went on to say,
you guys are pathetic.
All right. And then Coach Bowles also said,
you listen to me, and you listen good.
All right, so there you go. So just a couple of excerpts from Todd Bowles' press conference, head coach of the Buccaneers after the loss yesterday.
You gotta feel
well, I think we've all had about enough of this game.
I would say so.
You got to feel bad for the coach. That was a tough press conference. He really held his composure well.
Yeah. All right, that's Cleveland from the Cleveland Show. But I can't tell the difference.
The coach would let Cleveland speak on his behalf.
All right, here's real Coach Todd Bowles.
Got to finish ball games. Guys get a chance to play. They got to come in and play and execute. We can't play hard and then not play smart at the end. We got to play smarter football. There's nothing wrong with how hard we're playing and how tough we're playing, but we got to finish games. We got to find a way to finish ball games, making too many mistakes at the end.
Well, I think we've all had about enough of this game.
You tell me if there's any difference there. I can't tell the difference.
I couldn't tell.
I could not tell the difference at all.
Well, I think we've all had about enough of this game.
I think we've all had about enough of this audio clip.
Got to finish ball games. Guys get a chance to play. They got to come in and play and execute.
I can't tell any difference.
They're all bad. You want to win ball games any way possible. It's disheartening when we don't execute the things that we know we have to execute to lose those ball games instead of just trying to win it.
You guys are pathetic.
I can't tell the difference.
So,
in fact, I think Todd Bowles might have been the voice of Cleveland on the Cleveland Show, which ran for like 4 seasons on Fox.
It's a pretty good side hustle.
I think he might have been
I can only record in the off season.
There you go.
I'm the coach of the Buccaneers.
Yes.
One thing about Coach Bowles, win or lose, he is always pretty even keeled and subdued. He's always, talking at a lower intensity. 2 weeks. Last week they lost to the Chiefs. This week they lose to the 49ers. I don't know if you're aware or if you remember, but these were the two Super Bowl teams last year.
Right.
They played them both really hard.
Yeah, Chiefs and 49ers, right.
Yeah, so the Chiefs game at the stadium in Kansas, Arrowhead Stadium?
Arrowhead Stadium. Well, there's a sponsor, but I still call it Arrowhead.
But they went to overtime. They played the Chiefs as tough as they could without winning, and then same thing with the 49ers yesterday.
Yeah. And listen, we're down a bunch of players, obviously. All right, so there's generally a rule in radio that you don't attack sponsors. There's generally a rule in radio that you don't disparage commercials.
I mean, they're spending their money to advertise on your station. They're essentially your partners in this thing.
Well, some are more important than others.
So we love all of our sponsors. We have tons of great sponsors.
We do.
Local businesses that we love partnering with.
All right, so there's a kind of a difference in some of the commercials. I don't want to get too inside baseball here, but there's direct business, which we sell directly. Then there are commercials that are just like remnant spots and or network spots where we don't sell them directly. They just kind of pop up, and it's a way to fill holes and just make some money instead of no money. And well, we ran one of those commercials at like 6:20 this morning, and I'm very uneasy with this commercial. And if they never come on again, I'm happy. I'm fine. Can I play the commercial?
Yeah.
I got salespeople right now. They're like getting ready to poop their pants.
They're puckered up right now. What's he going to say?
Yeah, Ron, our general manager, is probably like, what is this MJ going to do now? Well, here's the commercial that ran.
Here's another great reason to use the United States Postal Service this season. Your boxes are wrapped and the gifts are in.
Yeah. I can't think of a good reason to use the U.S. Postal Service this season. They still have not found my 2 payments to the IRS that were priority mailed back in April.
Where's that?
And I have not received my $9.85 refund for the 2 missing packages to the IRS to 2 separate P.O. boxes, one for my tax due and then one for my estimated payment for the first quarter. So I'm not a real fan of this commercial.
Here's another great reason to use the United States Postal Service this season.
I can't think of a good reason to use the United States Postal Service this season because they lost 2 very important priority mail letters of mine that have never come up. Nothing. I mean, I dropped them in the wall. I personally used the kiosk at the Tampa International Airport and dropped my priority mail envelopes in the wall on April 15th at 5 a.m. before I came to the studio that Monday morning.
We should change this commercial. Here's another great reason not to use the U.S. Postal Service.
Yes, they lost MJ's tax payments.
Where's that commercial?
Yeah, that's so we played this morning. I'm like, you know what? I don't like that. And that's probably a $6 remnant spot anyway. So, good riddance. Goodbye.
We need $6 off that spot?
Maybe 8.
Wow.
might be an 8.
Oh my God.
Might be a barter spot from one of the services that some station uses here in the building.
That's funny.
Blah blah blah. Anyway, listen, you want unfiltered and real? You listen to the MJ Morning Show here on Q105 104.7 FM. All right, let me address the elephant in the room. Fester, I need you just.
Why do you talk to me when you say elephant? Let's address the elephant in the room, and the first thing you say is, "Hi, Fester, how are you?"
It's not a 355-pound fat joke, okay?
All right.
What is your current weight, by the way? Where are you?
338.
338.
I am putting on my winter coat.
All right, so you're beefing things up right now? You're in the process?
Soon, yeah.
All right. So, no, I'm not. When I say let's address the elephant in the room.
Hi, everybody. How are you?
It's.
Okay.
All right. So today, listen, I got to dance. I can't. I've been warned. I was told. Listen, I'm doing many fireable things today.
I'm recusing myself from this next segment of the show.
I'm doing numerous fireable things here on the MJ Morning Show. I was told that I can't address the elephant in the room, the situation. What I can say is, and Today it's me, MJ. It is Fester. Roxanne is not here today. Again, she was not here on Friday. There are certain things you might have heard, which, oh man, I got to be careful. Which I let me just put it this way: I was scolded. If you know, you know. I don't know. Did we pull Friday's podcast? I don't know if they've yanked that. Which there's obviously the basis of what I'm talking about is there. I can't address anymore what occurred, or HR and the company, they freaked out about my revelation regarding something medical, and I was told, do not talk about it again. I'm like, I'm not, I don't even think so. I'm supposed to be doing this, although I'm not giving any information from Friday. I'm just in a tough position, but I'm just, the reason why I'm not addressing the situation is because I was told I cannot, that it is an HR issue and there's all kinds of legal ramifications and blah, blah, blah. And I shouldn't have said what I said. I didn't know that I couldn't, but I did on Friday. And let me just put it this way, completely unrelated. I hope Roxanne is back tomorrow here on the MJ Morning Show. And that's it. That's all I can say. If you were listening Friday, you probably know exactly, I mean, you do know what I'm talking about. If you didn't, I can't say anymore.
All right, then let it go.
But this turned into like an HR corporate event, and my God, I'm talking to some lady from Boston now that's doing our HR. I'm on the phone with her for an hour. I mean, what a colossal cluster, you know, and just I got Ron, I got Naples corporate office. Anyway, the whole thing from Friday and what I talked about and I revealed, there's just concern about the violation of privacy. And listen, it's a reality. I don't think I stepped in it, but you know, corporations they're so litigation averse. You know, they're afraid of everything. You know, so I know where they're coming from. I don't agree, but that's where I am. So, Festa, thank you for not saying anything and complicating and making things worse.
Okay, boss.
But that's where we stand on the situation. And I can't say anything else other than if you park illegally, you might get towed.
Like common sense.
Can I say that? Yeah. What does the towing? A tow truck?
Yeah.
That's it. That's all. All right. That's all I'm gonna say here on the MJ Morning Show. At 7:46. We'll see what transpires tomorrow morning. Hey, really good news. We were going to do this like a month ago, actually a little more, but then the hurricanes just kind of messed things up. We had Helene, then we had Milton, obviously. And listen, the October's a blur. Do you agree?
Yeah, it just flew by and there's so much stress.
October's just a freaking blur. I remember very little of October. But we were supposed to give away, and this is worth nearly $1,000. We're supposed to, one of our great sponsors on the show is Banco Overhead Doors. And we were supposed to give this away, but I delayed it because it was just going to get, caught in all the mess and all the confusion. So we're going to do it next week. So next week, we are going to begin the process, and we're going to give away nearly $1,000 top-of-the-line LiftMaster garage door opener from Banco. So it's almost $1,000 installed, and it's amazing because they just installed these at my house as an endorser. And it's fantastic. So it's Wi-Fi connected. It takes pictures. You can see who's coming in and out of your garage. You can close and open your garage door from the app on your phone. Anyway, we're going to give away a Banco LiftMaster garage door, top of the line, the 87504. And it is, it's the best they make. And the installation, it's close to $1,000. So if you want the latest garage door opener, we'll give it away next week. And I'll give you details next week on how to enter to win this fabulous prize. And you know us, we give away conventional prizes on this show, and we give away unconventional prizes on this show.
Oh, wow. I'm looking at it online.
Yeah, it's nice. I've got
the
those.
87504-267.
Yeah. The 87504 is phenomenal.
Whoa.
Listen, if you're going garage doors these days, folks, you want the LiftMaster 87504. You go 87504 or you go home. That's the bottom line.
Wasn't that a song in the 80s?
What? 87504-267, LiftMaster Garage Door from Banco.
Oh.
Yeah. I got your number, 87504-267. Yeah, you're right.
How crazy would it be if the installer's name was Jenny?
Yeah, really. Yeah.
All right, so that's next week.
Next week.
All right.
So we're going to do a cool little contest, and it's going to be very easy to enter it, and we'll fill you in next week on what's going on and how to win this thing. We've got a couple of animal stories. We've got a follow-up, and then we have something brand new. First of all, I'd like to congratulate monkey catching authorities in South Carolina. Remember the story we did on Friday?
Yeah.
How 42 monkeys escaped from a facility?
What are you congratulating them on?
They captured one of the 42.
Okay, one. That one probably was headed home anyway because it was hungry. I mean, seriously. 41 monkeys are still running wild through greater South Carolina?
That's the latest I had from over the weekend. One of the 43 monkeys bred for medical research escaped from this monkey compound in South Carolina. One has been recovered.
Oh, we have breaking news.
Right, so hang on a minute. That's why I said let's check. Let's update. All right. So over the weekend, as of I guess Saturday or Sunday, the Associated Press said one monkey was recovered safely.
I saw that on Saturday, and I'm like, oh, please.
So 1 out of 42, I'm like, yeah, good job on the monkey roundup. So Fester just did a new search, as I'd expect him to do, and this was updated. This is
late last night.
Late last night. So this is last night. The story was updated. 25 monkeys have now been recovered. Oh my! This is
much better.
Yes,
much better results.
25 monkeys, and these are the rhesus macaques.
Right.
So they're running through this area in South Carolina, and you have all these like monkey herders, and they're just asking people, anyone see my macaque? Monkey running around. So
you got to be careful though. You just don't want to grab macaque.
So they warned.
You don't want to just grab it.
Well, that's what they said.
Right.
They warned residents, like, do not approach the monkeys. Don't grab macaque if you see it. Don't grab these because they could be dead. Right. Now they're saying that they don't have rabies. That they're all healthy monkeys.
They're just not used to being handled by people.
And they're all female monkeys.
Oh.
They were all female monkeys. So if you remember, we played the CEO. What's this guy's name? Greg Westerfield. We played this on Friday.
The caretaker was doing her normal routine. She failed to secure the doors, and the monkeys basically just bolted through the opening.
Yep.
They're very social monkeys, and they travel in groups. So when the first couple go out the door, the others tend to just follow right along.
So the reason why they got out was literally monkey see, monkey do.
Absolutely. I think they're having an adventure, hoping for a happy ending. That's the number one important thing to me.
I don't know if we should be talking about happy endings and the macaque monkeys.
Kidding me? The only thing I want for these macaques is a happy ending.
Anyway, so okay, the update is how many? They've got 25 of the 43.
So they say 18. Others still remain on the run.
All right, there you have it. So
math doesn't add up.
Hold on, 25 and 18.
Yeah,
25 and 18 is 43.
I'm just not good at math.
All right, so 25 monkeys recovered and 18 monkeys still remain on the loose.
Would you like to touch my monkey?
No, don't touch the monkey. Do not.
Would you like to touch my monkey?
Do not touch macaque monkey. All right. Do not touch the rhesus macaque. All right.
The CEO says the other 18 remain nearby, so they're not like they haven't spread across the whole South Carolina territory.
They haven't headed to Charleston for the great food in the Low Country.
No, they
just yet.
They haven't invaded the upstate yet.
No. All right. The other item we have, another animal item. What are you laughing at?
The University of South Carolina should change their name from the Gamecocks
To the macaques?
To the macaques.
Oh, yeah.
This is the most publicity South Carolina's had in a while.
Oh, absolutely.
Biggest thing to come out of South Carolina in a bit.
Absolutely. All right, so here's the other story. And this is in North Carolina. A lot of Carolinas lately. And I knew exactly what was going on. The minute I heard this story, I knew exactly what was happening. A huge missing python was discovered in a restaurant parking lot. So this missing python was discovered in a Chili's parking lot. It was reunited with the owner. The snake, this massive python, a cream-colored ball python, was picked up by the Charlotte, North Carolina Police Department following calls about a large snake in the area. Yeah, at this Chili's location. The snake went missing 2 months ago.
Oh, wow.
Responding officers managed to scoop up the huge python. There's an image on Facebook of the large snake being picked up. And
is this an aggressive snake? He's not going to bite a person, right?
Listen, I don't think I know they squeeze, right? Isn't that how they kill their prey? They squeeze.
This snake is looking for like small animals and stuff.
But the snake was asked, "What were you thinking? Why did you end up in the Chili's parking lot?" And you know what the snake said.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back,
Chili's baby back rib.
I want my baby
Chili's baby back rib.
Barbecue sauce. I want my baby back,
Chili's baby. There you go.
I want my baby
Chili's baby back rib. All right, there you go. So that's why the python went to Chili's for the. Pythons are very big fans of baby back ribs and the barbecue sauce.
A big python could probably down a whole pig.
Barbecue sauce.
This is a good-sized snake. What is this? What'd you say, 4 feet long?
No, it's bigger than 4 feet.
I don't know.
That's a good size. It's not like the 17-foot python, but still, it's a pretty. It's not like a little black snake that little black racer that scurries across your walkway in your front yard.
This seems like a more manageable python pet size.
But listen, when you want Chili's baby back ribs,
you got to have them,
and the barbecue sauce. Got to go. So that's what the python was clearly doing. Hey, speaking of food, I had a couple of people that were not happy with my pizza situation yesterday, and they're like, "Really, MJ?
What's the issue?
Your dad's in the ICU, in respiratory ICU in Fort Lauderdale, and you're eating pizza at the hospital and doing a video?" It's like, calm down. What, life should stop?
I mean, people have to eat too, right?
Exactly. So, again, I encourage everyone listening to make sure you follow me on my Instagram, Certified MJ Radio. That's Certified MJ Radio. And my brother brought the pizza. So, Fester, get ready to refresh us. I'll play the audio. So, yeah, and a lot of folks were sending well wishes to my dad.
Absolutely.
So, I told the story, and it's really miraculous. My dad is alive. My dad just turned 82 at the end of October. Not yesterday weekend, but the weekend before, Michelle, Chloe, and myself, we flew over to Fort Lauderdale. We had dinner with my mom and dad and brother. Birthday dinner for my dad on Saturday night in Lauderdale. And, my dad he's not moving as fast. He's has some trouble. He's 82 years old.
Everything you'd expect normally that would be happening to an 82-year-old guy.
Yeah.
He's kind of experienced.
Well, listen, you do have some 82-year-olds that, still get along pretty damn well.
Right.
As when people age, we age differently. And, you can find some 90-year-olds that are just, sharp as a whip mentally, and they're physically, in really good shape. But, when you start hitting, mid to late 70s, you can sort of tell who's going to be in good shape and who's going to go downhill. And for whatever reason, the last year, it's really the last year that my dad has gone downhill. And, mobility's been tough. He's falling a lot. And, last thing you want is, an 82-year-old person to fall down and bust their hip. Because a lot of times, busting the hip, that's like the beginning of the end. And, it's the worst, one of the worst things that can happen. So if you missed what I said last week, my dad went into cardiac arrest. So for whatever reason, and they haven't determined what caused it, because his arteries in good shape. He had a bypass like 6 years ago, so his arteries are in good shape. His heart is healthy. So they said, yeah, your heart's in good shape. But my dad had a cardiac arrest at their house in Fort Lauderdale. He was walking in front of the master bed in the bedroom, and he just collapsed. And my mom finds him on the floor. He's turning gray. He's got no pulse. He's not breathing. My mom is almost 80, starts doing CPR, calls 911, calls my brother. She's, trying to figure out, like she's seen CPR on like
TV shows,
like Chicago Fire or something.
So does she have a CPR certification? Does she ever take a class?
No, but now she's saying that she's going to go take a class. So my mom starts some CPR. My brother, who only is a few minutes away, he rushes over there. But it took my brother like 7 or 8 minutes to get there. And my dad is coded. He's like just on the ground. And he's not breathing. My mom's trying to do some type of CPR. My brother rushes over, and my brother's a doctor, so my brother's doing some serious CPR on my dad, and he's hearing some stuff cracking and, sternum and, whatever. So my brother arrives, and right behind my brother, that's when Fort Lauderdale Fire and Rescue, they show up, and they take over. Anyway, my dad was revived, and then, he was unconscious. He was intubated. And, no one knew when he regained consciousness, what would the situation be like? I mean, how long was he without oxygen? Anyway, he awakens and mentally he's fine.
Oh, my God. That's incredible.
No brain injury, no, lack of oxygen or, any type of oxygen deprivation. And, he's still having trouble maintaining a good oxygen saturation. So they've got the full face mask on. They'll put the... what do they call the nose things?
Is it a cannulus?
Cannular.
Can opener?
The cannular, no.
Yeah.
So they'll put the nose thing in, and he's getting, 94, 95% with that, but the full face is 100%. Mid-90s for him, I think, is pretty good. But the question is, can he go home, and will, like, the regular home oxygen flow, because they got him on high-pressure oxygen to maintain his saturation level. So the question is, can he go home? And that's the big question. But anyway, everyone that reached out to me and sent me a DM or an email, or all friends that know my cell number that sent me texts, I appreciate everybody reaching out. So I flew over on Saturday, and I stayed at the hospital on Saturday night. So I got, an hour here, hour there of sleep Saturday night into yesterday morning. And, they did bring, like, the slightly reclining hospital chair in.
The big, like tan one?
Yeah,
with the wooden
exactly.
arms?
Yeah, and it does have a little bit of a leg rest or whatever.
Really
kinda,
clunky to operate.
Yeah, so, trying to find a way to, like, sleep on that is a little difficult. But, listen, that doesn't matter. But here's the deal. My brother... I flew over to stay in the hospital overnight and my dad is up all night, and he's dozing off for 30 minutes at a time. Then he's yelling, "I can't breathe," and he can breathe fine. And it says 100% on the monitor.
But it's in his head?
But he doesn't like the face mask. And if it's like slightly off and, he says, it's not fitting me right. So he's a little ornery. So I gave my mom a break. My brother was in Miami for a medical conference that he had to speak at. So my brother was away. The bottom line is, so what the hell does pizza have to do with this? My brother is finishing up the conference late yesterday morning in Miami, and I think I said to him, "Hey, are you close to the Joe's Pizza down in Miami?" He's like, probably not that far away. He was on Miami Beach, and he had to go a little out of the way. But Joe's Pizza is a famous pizza shop from Greenwich Village, West Village in Manhattan, on Carmine, right at the 6th Avenue, Avenue of the Americas in Carmine. There's a Joe's Pizza.
And they have a location in Miami?
Yeah, so Joe's has a couple in the city, and they've expanded to a couple of places. And there's a Joe's Pizza in Miami, and I haven't tried it yet. I want to see how close the Joe's Miami Pizza is to the Manhattan Pizza. So my brother and his friend that he was with was like, "Yeah, you know what? She was asking about getting pizza for lunch." I'm like, "Perfect. Go to Joe's. So they order up a couple of pizzas, pick them up. They ate it while it was hot because they were down there. And then they bring up a whole separate pie, which was obviously, cold when it got to me. But so I left my dad's hospital room and I went to the family waiting lounge and I shot a video. And some people have a problem with my dad in the hospital, and I'm doing a pizza review.
I mean, I personally would have liked to have seen Dad gasping for air in the back.
While I'm shoving pizza in my face.
I can't breathe, Todd. Hold on, Dad.
Look at the cook underside. Looks pretty good here. All right.
Did Dad have a slice?
No. He was. Well, that's why I took it out of there.
Because can he eat?
No. He is eating. So,
all right.
But he's having cream of wheat and chicken noodle soup and yogurt and orange juice and apple juice, and he can have some coffee.
You can't have a slice of pizza.
He can't have a slice of pizza, and he's dying for the pizza because my brother brought it in, but I took it out of the ICU room to go to the family lounge to eat it and review it and shoot the video.
I can't breathe, but I could smell it.
So you would have liked my dad with the oxygen mask on and all the machines going beep, 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 and all. You would have liked that in the background while I'm shoving pizza in my face?
Yeah, I personally would have.
Anyway, some people, even though I went out of my dad's hospital room in Fort Lauderdale yesterday, some people are giving me a hard time. How dare you? That's very inconsiderate. Give me a break. Come on, life goes on. Pizza goes on. All right, go ahead and reset this. I'll play the audio. By the way, this video is on my Instagram. It's Certified MJ Radio. Give me a follow. My Instagram is Certified MJ Radio. And actually, I shot a couple of interesting videos. I want to play one more after this. All right, reset it and then bring up the audio.
And audio, go.
Go. All right, here we go.
Hey, it's MJ from the MJ Morning Show, Q105 Tampa Bay, 104.7 FM. Here at the hospital in Broward County, visiting my dad. My brother, Drew, was down at a medical conference in Miami, and he stopped at Joe's Pizza in Miami. Of course, Joe's, the original's on Carmine in the West Village, and looking fairly decent.
It's a good-looking pie.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Drove up from Miami, so obviously it's not going to be that hot. Let me try a piece of this stuff here.
Grab a slice.
Pretty good cook.
Yeah, underside look really nice.
Give this a
Good
shot.
char. Yep. So I'm munching now. That's another complaint. Hang on.
Close flavor profile.
So I'm talking about the flavor profile. Comparing to New York.
You know what?
Not bad. Better than most here in Florida.
Yeah. Yeah, so the pizza was good. It's cold, and I don't mind cold pizza, but to really give it a proper review, you want it pretty fresh and hot. But cold, it was still good and better than most pizza in the state of Florida. And it did have the flavor profile was there. They're using grande cheese, which I think is essential, in many cases for a great New York slice. But
can we talk about how loud of a chewer you are?
That's another complaint.
I mean, I've eaten hundreds of meals across from you. I've never noticed you chewing like a horse. Hey, MJ from the MJ Morning. That's about the loudest chewing ever, man.
That's go look at the video, folks, on Certified MJ Radio on Instagram. Go take a look at it. But that's another complaint that people have. MJ, stop smacking. That's what people call it.
Smacking,
Smacking. Stop smacking your food. Listen, I'm enjoying. I'm trying to suck in the flavor profile. It's like some wine experts, some enophiles, or they'll sift and try to aerate the wine through their teeth and make a little bit of a noise.
You're not a pizza sommelier.
Yes, I am a pizza sommelier. What are you talking about? I'm the epitome of a pizza sommelier.
You're eating a cold pizza in the ICU family waiting room here.
I'm a pizza sommelier. So some people are complaining, how dare you eat pizza while your dad's in the ICU?
I'm more offended by this horse chewing you're doing.
And by the way, my dad is 100% alert. His brain is fine. We're having major conversations. We're having good conversations. He's on his phone half the time. He's buying crap from Amazon. I don't know why. So my dad, it's a miracle. It's miraculous that my dad had coded was technically dead on the floor, and he was revived, and now, his mind is fine. Physically, that's, he's been going downhill, but, hopefully he'll be out of the hospital in a couple of days. I don't know if he's going to have to go to a rehab facility in the intermediate, but hoping to get him home, but he might need to be on oxygen if it can deliver the amount that he actually needs. So I got people complaining about me pizza smacking, and then people complaining that how dare I eat pizza and shoot a video while I'm at the ICU.
No, listen, food at the hospital, everybody's got to eat. Listen, I'm glad your brother can bring you the pie, but man, the chewing. I literally think differently of you now. It's really awful.
It's not that bad.
It's not that good.
All right, folks, take a look at the video. Leave a comment. Leave a comment on Instagram. Certified MJ Radio. And then, hey, go back to my grid because I want to play one other video that I shot. So there are actually two. I flew Spirit again.
Right.
And was this going or coming back?
So one of them had to be going because
no.
Chronologically.
Chronologically. Yeah, I think.
Was the dog coming back or was the duct tape going?
Oh, no, I think the duct tape. So there was what appears to be duct tape holding the wing together on my Spirit Airlines flight. No, listen. It's not duct tape. And I even shoot a video that if you see what looks like duct tape on the wing of your airplane, don't freak out, all right? This is a public service from me, MJ, here on the MJ Morning Show. So I'm on the jetway, and there's a window in the jetway just before you get through the door of the airplane, and you can see the left wing of the airplane.
All right, that dead ass looks like duct tape.
It does. That's what I'm saying.
It is duct tape.
And I see people looking at it, and I'm like, oh, man, I got to shoot a video here quickly. All right, reset my video so I can play this audio right now on the MJ Morning Show. You ready? All right, go ahead and reset it and go.
Hey, it's MJ from the MJ Morning Show on Q105 Tampa Bay, 104.7 FM, in line getting on a Spirit flight. Now, if you ever see this, don't be alarmed. That's not duct tape holding the wing together. That's called speed tape, and that is an acceptable maintenance patch for certain things.
All right, so I wasn't concerned in the least. So when you see the tape on the wing, it looks like duct tape, but it's more the reflective silvery tape. It's kind of like the AC duct tape.
Duct tape?
Yeah, or the tape that a lot of air conditioning companies will use to seal. I think it's similar to that, but speed tape is for small maintenance issues that are non-critical. It doesn't affect the flight. This is an acceptable practice. All airlines. In fact, I had a pilot buddy of mine that commented in the comment section on this Instagram video and said most planes flying have some speed tape on them somewhere. So, yeah, don't freak out. Did it bother me? But I saw people, pointing at it and, comments, going, I got to shoot a video here.
It's a pretty big patch.
It's already got, over 20,000 views. This thing took off like a rocket. Yeah, if you want to see this video, again, all these videos are on my Instagram at Certified MJ Radio. That's Certified MJ Radio. Let me see where I am on that. So that video has 22,500 views.
We're all really proud of you.
Yeah. And then the other one I shot yesterday. Go to the second one there and roll this and reset it. You ready? And
this one right here.
Yeah, play that one and hurry up. Here we go.
You hear that noise? When you hear that noise on an airplane.
You ever on an airplane and you hear that?
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That noise, and people look around, and depending on where you are on the airplane, that noise can be very loud. Go ahead and roll it again. Reset it so I can play the noise again. So if you're ever on an airplane and you hear this
noise, when you hear that noise on an Airbus 320 family, sounds like a dog barking. It's not.
All right. It's not a dog barking. It's called the dog barking. It happens on the Airbus 320 family. So the 320, the 321, or the 319, and that's a hydraulic pump called the Power Transfer Unit, and it's specific to the Airbus. It doesn't happen on Boeing 737s or 757s. That's an Airbus deal, and it's called the dog barking. And it's just a normal sound the hydraulic pump makes.
I have to say, this has been quite the airplane tutorial. Between the speed tape not being duct tape and the dog barking, it's not a dog.
There you go.
You should give tours at the airport. This radio stuff. When you're hanging up the microphone, just get a job at TIA or
Tampa to TPA.
And
yeah.
listen, I've been in Tampa for a long time. We always called it TIA, Tampa International Airport.
It used to be, but they stopped using TIA. Now it's TPA that everyone refers to, because that's the actual international flight code for the airport is KTPA or TPA for Tampa.
You should give airport tours. So you hear that? Sounds like a dog.
There is. So, folks, bottom line is, and there's even more on there I haven't discussed. So always follow my Instagram, Certified MJ Radio. If you don't follow me, give me a follow now. If you don't like my crap, then unfollow me. But the followers been going up very, very dramatically lately. Certified MJ Radio. My DMs are open. You can always hit me up with a message or email me. I'm mj@mjmorningshow.com. So I'm a very accessible radio personality. I love communicating. If you have any hot gossip, you have any dirt, you have any information, any content for our show, if you want to give us something on the lowdown, I'll keep you anonymous. If you have anything that we need to know, and we get a lot of breaking items, or we get little tips from listeners all the time, you can email me privately, my private email. I'm the only one that looks at it, mj@mjmorningshow.com, or my Instagram DMs are open, Certified MJ Radio. There is a problem at Mattel, the toy company.
What? This is their busy season, right? Coming into the holidays, they should be super excited.
Yeah, there's a little problem. Packaging for dolls to coincide with the release of the movie Wicked.
Dude, that promotion is everywhere.
Well, that's why I'm doing the story, is Mattel's got a little bit of a misprint on the cardboard box for their line of Wicked dolls. So Mattel clearly got the licensing agreement to sell these dolls. I guess the trailer is hit for the musical Wicked. You've got Ariana Grande's in there. You got Jeff Goldblum. Anyway, Universal puts out the full trailer of this thing. But the problem is packaging for the dolls from the new Wicked movie have raised some serious eyebrows, because the wrong URL for the movie, the wrong web address for the movie was printed on the box. And the dolls were created by Mattel. This is a whole partnership with Universal Movies, with Universal Pictures. And the name of the movie, the name of the musical is Wicked.
Wicked, yeah, sure.
They put that as the website, but apparently Wicked, and I didn't know this. Sorry, I don't know all the porno companies out there, but they put Wicked.com on the box for all of these dolls.
Oh, no.
These are kids' dolls. These are toys. And Wicked apparently is a porno movie company.
What's the movie site?
It's Wicked. So they put www.wicked.com.
Right.
It's supposed to be wickedmovie.com.
Okay.
So they put just Wicked on. So if you go to Wicked, I didn't know this was a porno company. You learn something new every day. But Wicked, WICKED, just wicked.com, apparently is a well-known porno company. So look, Fester's on there. Access beyond this page is restricted to adults 18+. So go ahead and enter. Okay?
All right.
Oh my God! Oh, don't go there! Holy hell! Don't go there! Oh my God! Holy! Oh my! Turn it off! Oh my God!
All right.
Yeah. So they have that web address on all of the boxes for the dolls.
Wow!
Holy shit!
What a mistake! Nobody checked this out.
That is a colossal error.
Nobody did any proofreading of the box.
I guess not.
Oh, man. That's hysterical.
So the toys packaging lists on the box www.wicked.com, which is full-blown porno site, instead of wickedmovie.com.
Oh, it's a much different site.
Much different experience.
Wicked Movie.
I'm
surprised that one was available.
So here's the deal. They're going to, for new items, they're trying to correct the box. They will correct the box. But there are so many items that have shipped. I mean, this is a colossal F-up, man.
I mean, if I went to Walmart right now, could I buy the Wicked.com version of the toy?
Apparently so. So I haven't seen, they're not taking them off the shelves But here's what's going on. And by the way, Wicked opens up November 22nd at a theater near me.
What, do they have no choice? They got to leave it out there? Is not enough time to repackage them?
Well, listen, they could recall them and take them off the shelves, but apparently they're not.
Oh, that's too funny.
And so here's what's going on. Mattel is telling parents to either cover up the URL or throw the box away.
Yeah.
So that's a way to do it, is you give the kid the gift, that you buy the kid the doll, take the doll out, give them the box before they have time to look at the URL and go on their computer and type in wicked.com and see the porno stuff. So give them the box, give them the doll, then just once they're happy with their Wicked doll, just take the box and throw it away.
I got to tell you.
Or you can take a knife,
Sharpie.
take a knife or a fork and just scrape the cardboard and scrape the URL off. You can do it. It's very easy to alter the box. Fester said the same thing, Andrew. Andrew just said in my ear, what about a Sharpie?
Yeah, a Sharpie or something just blacking it out.
Yeah, but then you can see through it. Then the kid's going to be like, what they cover up, and they'll take some spit on their finger, and they'll try to get the
Sharpie off.
Do you really
think
off.
a kid's going to notice? I'll tell you right now, I've given my kids hundreds of toys over the years. They rip the packaging open. They've never gone to a website of a toy company.
Yeah,
ever.
Mattel confirmed that they're aware of the misprint. Mattel, this is according to Fox News, Mattel was made aware of the misprint on the packaging of the Mattel Wicked collection dolls, primarily sold in the U.S., which intended to direct consumers to the official wickedmovie.com landing page. We deeply regret this unfortunate error and are taking immediate action to remedy this. Parents are advised that misprinted incorrect website is inappropriate. Hold on. Parents are advised that the misprinted incorrect website is not appropriate for children. Yeah, we know.
It's not appropriate for anyone.
It's inappropriate. Consumers who already have the product are advised to discard the product packaging or obscure the link and may contact Mattel customer service for further information. What further information? I don't know how to throw the box away. How do I obscure the website? What do I do? I'm confused. What do I do? I don't know. I'm upset.
I mean, this movie...
What do you need to contact Mattel for?
They have
Throw the freaking box away or scrape off the Wicked porno site on the side of the box.
They have to sell these items in the next couple of weeks. Otherwise, they're going to end up in the discount bin. They can't recall it and take a couple of weeks to repackage everything. They have to leave it out there. The thing is, there's so many of these toys that the market's flooded. It won't be a collector's item. I mean, I can picture a bunch of creepy guys. I'm going to put this next to my baseball cards.
Andrew, turn on your microphone. Andrew went on eBay, and you're saying that the misprinted boxes are all over eBay for sale?
Oh, yeah, anywhere from $60 to $250 for buy it now. Now, if you look to see what they're actually selling for at auction, 26, 22, 28.
Listen, you can go to the store and just buy it off the shelf still.
For less.
Go to Walmart.
Why you don't need to buy this on eBay if you want to get the Wicked doll with the misprinted porno website. Just go to the store. They're on the shelves at the store apparently.
And most of the ones you find on eBay, then you have to pay for shipping.
And sales. Well, you got to pay sales tax anyway.
But yeah, I mean, there's so many of them that have already been shipped. This isn't a collector's item. Where is it?
Well, why? I mean, if they're still available in the stores.
Like, how you hear like the wheat penny or something, and it had like a mismarking or something, and it's worth all this money?
Yeah.
This isn't that.
Yep. Hey, what about the latest? Yes, Andrew was raising his hand again. Yes?
I was going to say that right now they're not collectible, but in a few years when all those ones that are ripped out of the package so the kids can play with them, the ones remaining in the original boxes, those will be collector's items.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's not going to be worth thousands of dollars.
Probably not, but those will be the collector's items.
Honey, look, I got you the Wicked doll with the dirty link on it.
With the porno link for Wicked porno films or whatever. We have another street takeover that happened in Tampa and felony arrests and cars impounded. And, I mean, what are these morons thinking? The cops, whether it's local police, city police, whether it's county sheriff's offices, the Florida Highway Patrol, they are cracking down on these street takeovers. I mean, what type of a moron are you that you don't see the previous street takeovers where there have been multiple arrests in Pinellas, in Hillsborough, in city of Tampa, for instance?
I mean, I heard that Hardee County is really cracking down on the street takeover.
All right, so the latest now is there were multiple arrests as the FHP and other agencies rolled in and busted a street takeover. So you got numerous people arrested, charged with felonies as troopers. So Florida Highway Patrol and Tampa Police were able to shut down another street takeover where they block the streets, they do donuts. Sometimes they light a bonfire in the middle of the intersection, and they do their ripping around the bonfire, leaving all of those black tire marks and circles.
So there were 3 locations of these street takeovers on Friday night.
Yeah, so here's the list. So according to the release from the Florida Highway Patrol, information was received, and a lot of times this stuff is on social media, and you got tipsters that will tip off police as well. But according to law enforcement, FHP and other agencies, they got information about these street takeovers, which were going to happen at Bush Boulevard and Florida, the Temple Terrace Winn-Dixie parking lot, and Fletcher Avenue and Bruce B. Downs. And these are major intersections, the ones I've mentioned here. And at each spot, there were many cars. There were large groups of people that were hanging out. And keep in mind, spectators now to the street takeovers and the burnouts and the donuts can be arrested. So spectators, you're in jeopardy of being thrown in jail as well. So you have the people, you have the cars. Florida Highway Patrol said they were able to stop the takeover events from happening at the Temple Terrace Winn-Dixie and the Bush and Florida locations before it even got underway. The location at Fletcher and Bruce B. Downs, that occurred, but troopers and police, they were able to ID the vehicles and the people that were involved, and that's when FHP said that law enforcement officers then engaged the vehicles that were involved in the takeover and street racing. There were actually a couple of short chases. So some of the street takeover folks tried to take off, and the Florida Highway Patrol went in pursuit.
You got to figure there's an interstate on either side of Fletcher Avenue where they are on Bruce B. Downs.
So 4 drivers, they were charged with felonies. Nice. Yeah, that's nice. I have a nice felony record. Yeah, I think one of the drivers was like 19 years old. Hey, son, that's no way to go through life. Started off with a felony at 19, you moron. Yeah, 4 drivers charged with felonies. 6 passengers were charged with street racing and takeover. 4 vehicles were impounded with 30-day holds. There were 2 guns that were found as well. And some of these vehicles, and I don't know the process, but these vehicles were impounded and put on an immediate 30-day hold. But I believe that some of these vehicles have the possibility of being confiscated forever.
Definitely, yeah, sure.
So there are cases where some of these vehicles are lost, that the vehicles are forfeited if you're involved in street racing or these street takeovers. Here's a quote. The success of this operation, which prevented those in the community from being placed in dangerous situations while on Florida roads, was due to information that was intercepted by law enforcement before the event took place. That's a statement from the Florida Highway Patrol. Equally important were the collaborative efforts of multiple jurisdictions, including the Temple Terrace Police Department and TPD, Tampa Police Department, which played a crucial role in the operation's success. So you had multiple agencies involved. And listen, just don't get sucked into this. Do not get pulled in, because spectators can now be charged as well. So, but why are they doing this? They know these events are being busted. So 2 were broken up successfully. 1, we have felony arrests. But guess what? Next weekend, or there'll be more street takeover attempts. Schmucks on wheels.
Yeah,
what are you, a schmuck on wheels?
No, it's right. The FHP had to thank the TPD and the TTPD.
Hey, this is hysterical. Andrew, can you send the link to Fester so it's easy? Send the lady eating the chips in the back of the Uber. Have you heard about this?
No.
There is a woman, a very large woman.
I've taken about 100 Uber rides. I've never eaten in one of the
I've never
cars.
eaten in an Uber. That's just rude. So there is a very large woman in the back seat of an Uber, and she's seated next to a guy, and she's got a bag of chips. They look like Doritos or Cheetos or something.
Was it like the fun size, like snack size bag, or was it like the big old bag?
Well, bring up the...
Andrew, where are you sending it to? Crack your mic. Let me talk to you.
Send it.
Emailing it.
All right, he's emailing it to you.
Don't send it to my work account. You know I don't check it.
Don't send it to his Gmail. Send it to Gmail. All right, so Fester, open up your Gmail and bring this up. So this woman is eating chips in the back of the Uber, and the Uber driver freaks out about the passenger eating in the car and, leaving crumbs and crap all over the vehicle, which I think, listen, the Uber driver has a right to be concerned and not wanting somebody to eat in the back of the freaking car.
Oh, that's a big lady.
Yep. All right. She's a big lady.
She's
Yes.
taking up her whole side.
Right.
And then some.
Yeah. All right.
Are those Doritos? All right. I'm going to reset it.
Yeah. No, but you can watch it. I'm not going to play the audio from that because, Andrew, there were a couple of bleeps in that, right?
Do we have the audio pulled?
Yeah. Well, we pulled the audio.
Okay.
Yeah. I just wanted you to see this.
All right. Thank you.
And this woman is eating these chips and is just getting into an argument with the Uber driver. And the Uber driver's like getting ready to throw her out and end the ride. So listen to this.
Don't be eating no chips in my car, but I got the chips all in a bag and everything. And she's worried about what I'm eating in a bag.
All right, so she's on the phone. She's got her right hand on a cell phone, and she's just yakking a mile a minute. Her left hand is dipping into the bag of chips, and she's just snacking it up. So what you hear is her complaining and talking to the person that she's talking to on the phone while she's shoving these chips in her mouth in the back of the Uber.
Don't be eating no chips in my car, but I got the chips all in a bag and everything. And she's worried about what I'm eating in a bag. I ain't dropping it on her floor.
She's not dropping anything on the floor. She's not.
I mean, she's not dropping it.
What?
She's not dropping it on the flow. She is correct.
She's not.
Don't be eating no chips in my car, but I got the chips all in a bag and everything. And she's worried about what I'm eating in a bag. I ain't dropping it on her floor. She leave me alone. I ain't got time for it. Mother don't know who she's messing with. I just don't want to have...
She doesn't know who she's messing with. And then that's the driver. The driver's a female, and she starts to say that she doesn't want to deal with a mess.
To clean up a mess. You ain't gonna have to clean up no mess. What mess is you gonna clean up and it's all in a bag?
And people be dropping stuff and they be
okay,
eating.
Well, I'm not a little child. I'm a grown-ass woman.
I'm not no child. I'm a grown-ass woman. Yes, you are.
She's right.
You are a grown-ass. That's a big ass, too. That's a big woman.
Looks like she ate a couple of children.
Just dry. I just want to get home. That's it. Girl, how much you pay for this ride anyway? $50. Oh, yeah, I'm getting my money worth out of this ride. You know?
I'm getting my money's worth out of this ride. What is she going to smear like, Cheetos or Doritos orange dust in the seat?
So Uber drivers have recourse. Like if you damaged a car or if you got sick or you made a spill in there, they can charge you a cleanup fee.
There's a puke fee. There's like a $250 vomit charge. If you're out partying, you're going bar hopping, you call an Uber, and on your way home, you hurl in the Uber. I think there's a minimum like $250 vomit fee for throwing up in their Uber.
She talking to, but I'm sure I'm just eat my chicken because she's going to just be one mad.
I need subtitles on this lady.
If you keep talking, I'm going to end the ride.
All right, so now that's the driver. If you keep talking, I'm going to end the ride.
Go ahead and end the ride. I'll get wet.
Can you chill so she don't end the ride? I'm trying to get home.
Okay, we going to get home. She ain't going to end the ride. We right here by the house.
I
ain't going to end the ride.
I can end it. I'm going to end it. Keep talking.
Well, you ain't ended it yet.
Oh, no, so now she's taunting. So the driver's saying, I'm going to end the ride. And then you got the passenger in the back going, you ain't ended it yet. She's like taunting, like daring the Uber driver to end the ride.
Yeah, you scared
Keep talking.
I'm going to keep talking.
You're going to ride by the house.
You're going to get out.
You're going to get my money back. I know that much.
Get out
and I ain't getting out of your car until my money hit my card.
See, I'm going to get my money back, bitch. You hear her? Anyway, she's just munching. She's continuing to eat these chips.
Does she have no idea that she's on camera?
Are those Doritos?
It looks like Doritos because look, it's a red bag.
Red bag.
And it's an orange kind of triangular.
Yeah, I totally see the chip is orange.
It's the nacho flavor.
Yeah, nacho flavored Doritos is what she's eating.
The Cool Ranch would be a blue bag.
Oh, man. Is that not great video?
I mean, The woman is right. She didn't drop anything on the flow.
Listen, I think that this woman is sucking in every crumb and every bit of this, but I can understand why the Uber driver is not thrilled with this eating in the back of her car. And that's her prerogative, not to have people eat in the back of the car. American Airlines. We had an item last week. Remember the Delta story?
No.
Folks, you're listening to the MJ Morning Show. This is 104.7 FM. This is Q105. It is 8:33, and we're in the middle of an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ. That's what we do. Every morning about 7:25, we go for an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop content. No music, no commercials, no pesky traffic reports. It's just nonstop MJ Morning Show content, and that's what we're doing right now. Fester, MJ, Roxanne not here again today. I did address things last hour. I got to be very careful. I got in trouble. I'll leave it at that. So last week, Fester, you don't remember we did a story how Delta Airlines informed flight attendants that there's nothing they can do about passengers taking pictures and video of them?
All coming back to me now. Yes, I do recall that.
Like a Celine Dion song?
Just like that.
It's all coming back to you now? So, yeah, that was last week. Delta told flight attendants, there's nothing we can do really about passengers taking pictures. And a lot of times, some of the flight attendants get freaked out and they don't want their pictures taken on the airplane. Or, sometimes, that's a federal offense. You can't take our picture. Well, it's not a federal offense. So Delta sent out a memo to flight attendants and to flight crew. There's really nothing we can do to prevent passengers from taking your picture.
That's right.
On the airplane.
The phones are everywhere.
So on the heels of that, we have a story from American Airlines. And it's now tougher for American Airlines to allow staff to kick off passengers for inappropriate clothing and odor. Now, I've heard both in the past. Sometimes there's a passenger that smells so freaking bad.
Yeah. There's two kinds of stench,
well,
too.
they've turned people away for that.
There's multiple kinds of stench. One thing is just having obsessive or terrible body odor.
Or can you imagine some filthy individual? They've got lice jumping all over them,
Sure.
And the lice are jumping off their head into the people in the seat next to them. Yeah, that's awful. That's grotesque.
But not to be an uppity snob, I find myself more often being offended by people's attempts to smell good with their colognes or perfumes or stuff.
I get on my plane yesterday, and I'll tell this story. A little issue. So I get on my flight, and I was kind of last aboard. I didn't need overhead space because I didn't buy it on Spirit. All I had was my little personal item seat in front of me. So I'm walking down the aisle, and there's a guy in my seat. I had 22F, and there's a dude in my seat. And he's like, "Oh, man, I guess this is your seat." I'm like, yeah. This guy was every bit of 550 pounds.
You had to sit next to him?
Well, I'll tell the story in a minute. Let me finish with American.
Yeah, I'm about to say, that's the Instagram video I wanted to see.
You know what? Hang on. You want to hear how I handled the situation?
I do.
All right. It's a very, I'll get to that in a minute. First, though, American Airlines. They revised their policy at American Airlines as far as throwing passengers off the plane. And now it's apparently harder for American Airlines employees to bounce a passenger. We strive to cultivate a sense of community and provide a travel experience where everyone feels welcomed. That is what American Airlines wrote in their revision to the in-flight manual for flight attendants. This is from the aviation website, A View from the Wing, which I like. It's a great website. The rule change for these two issues are prompted by an incident over the summer in which American Airlines was sued. You had 8 black passengers. They were kicked off a flight from Phoenix to New York over a body odor complaint. And listen, you can be black with body odor, and I've probably, over my lifetime, smelled many more white people with horrific body stenches than black people. So body odor it doesn't matter what
stench knows no race,
exactly,
color, creed, religion.
Stench is colorblind.
Yeah. I mean, The beauty of stench is the beauty of morons in the news. It's the fairest of them all. It affects everybody.
It doesn't matter if you're black or white. That
would be a good name for a song.
All right, where am I going? I'm telling the freaking story.
Okay.
But I'm trying to come up with a parody song. All right, the shelf life might be kind of short on this story.
If you want to break down people from Asia, we can do that.
It doesn't matter what your race is.
It's all
body odor.
Everywhere.
Body odor exists.
That's right.
Yeah, if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't practice hygiene. Anyway, so
I've been doing my part as a standard bearer for stinky Italians for decades now.
Yeah, like Fester, you've smelled ripe on multiple occasions.
I smell ripe today.
Oh, it's fantastic. Thank God we've got a little bit of separation. So, new policy, flight attendants are only allowed to remove passengers if there's a risk to safety and security, not if they smell. They smell bad. How much for your children? I want to buy your little girl. How much? How much for your wife, your children? I want to buy your children.
Listen, as long as he doesn't smell, he could stay.
In addition, any issues need to be broached by passengers first and not crew members. So what? A passenger has to complain? Oh my God! I'm sitting next to somebody, and it's like my nostrils are on fire from this smell. I'm sitting. Can you imagine sitting next to somebody for 4 hours?
You hit your little flight attendant button, and you say, "Listen, I'm sorry, but I'm sitting next to Diarrhea Dave over here. You got to help me. We got to do something about this guy."
Yeah. So the issue needs to be addressed by 2 flight attendants, and they should attempt to resolve the issue without removing the passenger from the flight. I mean, if somebody smells bad, try to find a row that's unoccupied and put them in the stinky seat row.
Man, planes these days, I don't think I've been on a flight in a couple of years that have had like an abundance of extra seats.
I flew to Fort Lauderdale on Spirit on Saturday, and I ended up with the whole row to myself. I was in 18 Foxtrot, 18F, and I had the window seat, and the plane was pretty full, but unbelievably, 18D and 18E were empty.
Yeah,
So
they missed their flight.
I had the whole row to myself.
Your flight mates were running to the gate as the door were closing.
Yeah, maybe. But I had the whole row. But then yesterday, the plane was also pretty full. There were only a handful, just a few empty seats. And this is a big Airbus. This was a Airbus 321, so larger extended fuselage, so more passengers.
And that's when you had your altercation with the big fat guy?
I didn't say it at all. It's quite the opposite. I didn't have an altercation.
Yeah, he just said, "Oh, I'm sorry, this must be your seat." He just moved.
All right, so that's the American Airlines situation.
Right.
A little tougher to get rid of passengers that smell bad or are wearing clothing that's inappropriate. All right, so I get on Spirit yesterday at Fort Lauderdale, and I'm walking down the aisle. And listen, I don't need a board. I don't need to be like gate lice. The people that hug the gate, the people that are, just jammed up right at the counter, right at the lines, right where you're supposed to board, groups 1 through 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, whatever. The folks that crowd the gate, the airline staff call those people gate lice. They're just hanging there, man. They're like parasites. They're just gate lice. Don't be gate lice. So I'm on Spirit yesterday from Fort Lauderdale back to Tampa, 2:45 flight. And I'm group 5 because I bought the cheap. I bought this, pretty. I didn't get to buy this far out and get like a $38 seat like I've done before on Spirit. So this is like this might have been like a $99 seat, whatever. So I'm group 5. I bought the cheapest seat. I did not pick a seat. I waited for the right time to check in. I figured out how to game the system. So I know how to game the Spirit Airlines system to end up with a seat that's decent without paying. And that is, as soon as you're 24 hours out and you're able to check in, don't do it. Let all the other people check in first that didn't pay for seats, because the computer randomly assigns you a seat as you check in. And the Spirit software, they fill the plane from the last row forward. So you wait for all those people to check in, let them end up in 38E, all right? So you let all those things fill up. You wait a couple hours, and you got to strategically find the right time to check in. So you don't want to check in when the next available seat is a middle. You got to wait for some other sucker to grab that seat, and wait for the next seat to be like an aisle or a window. But then, listen, somebody could still beat you to it. But I've had very good luck doing that. So that's how I ended up with 18F and then 22F yesterday. So, and you can't be greedy. You got to check in at the right time because you might have some people in the back of the plane that say, you know what, I don't want to be back here. I'm going to pay $16 or $22 for a seat.
Yeah, then
and
stick you back there.
Then some of those seats will open up, and then those seats are given away next. So you got to find the right time to strategically check in to then get automatically assigned your seat. So I'm walking on my flight yesterday, Fester.
Yes.
Walking down the aisle. I'm group 5, and I was one of the last, 10, 12 people to board. There were people behind me, but I didn't need to rush because I've got a window seat. I'm not using overhead space because I didn't pay for it. And I got a little bag to stick in the seat in front of me. I was gone for 24 hours. So I walk down the aisle and there's this guy in my seat. There's a big guy. So I walk over to 22 and I look over and he said, this is your seat, huh? I'm like, yeah. I wasn't obnoxious. I was like, yeah.
That's kind of an obnoxious, yeah.
No.
That's
No, it was not. No, all right. It was not condescending. I was being very nice to the guy.
All right.
But this guy was big. I mean, this is a big dude. And the guy was very, very nice. And he knew he was a big dude. And he said, yeah, I'll move. He was the middle seat. So you had a very thin woman. You had a thin woman, about 44 maybe. She had the aisle. I've got the window. And then you've got this guy that's knocking on 6 bills. This guy's knocking on 600. I mean, he's a big, big guy.
What'd you do? You just had to wedge yourself in there next to him?
Well, he gets out, and then, he said, hey, maybe I'll ask the flight attendant if there's an open seat I can grab. He knew he was a big guy.
Yeah,
and this guy was nice. He was a really, really nice guy. I mean, and
why don't you take him to lunch where he could eat everything?
All right. Fester, dude, you're 350. All right, you calm down.
So he's of my tribe.
I get it. If you and him were in the same row, you guys would have snapped the support posts.
We would have flipped the plane.
You would have been tilted. They would have to put sandbags on the left side of the aircraft.
We're having problems.
All right, so listen, this guy's nice.
Okay, so super nice,
but
big
this
fat guy.
guy's a really, really heavy guy.
All right,
and he's wide. He's got also the front, and he's got a.
When you're that big, you have it all.
Yeah, it's he's got the pooch going on. He's got a big front, big size. He's a big guy, but he's a nice guy. I mean, I almost wanted to say, have you tried Ozempic or something, I'm like, have you seen those commercials? You might recognize, might recognize the jingle. You heard this thing? You watch it TV, listen, dude, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to qualify. Ask your doctor about Wegovy or Ozempic. Or Manjaro. Anyway, guy's nice. So he gets out of the aisle and he's standing right behind us is an exit row.
Yes.
So there's a space where he can, or there's a flight attendant area where they sit. So there was some space. So he gets up and he's trying to accommodate. And he said something like, I don't want to make it uncomfortable for you guys because I'm telling you right now that he would have eaten up. He would have eaten up about 30% of each side of our seat
because he has eaten up everything he's ever seen in his whole life up until that second.
So this guy would have been. He'd been hanging 30% over on the woman next to me.
Right.
And I'm talking. I'm going to have folds in my lap.
Yeah.
All right. This guy's big, but he's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a real jolly fat guy. We get it.
Listen. So I'm doing everything I can. I don't want to make him feel bad. I'm not rolling my eyes and because sometimes I've been on planes where people are sitting next to a large person oh, my God, I can't believe. Flight attendant, can we find another seat? I've heard people make a scene. So I'm like, listen, this guy's got a tough time here. I'm going to do whatever I can to be as nice as possible. And, he says, listen, I'm going to try to find a seat, see if they can put me somewhere else. And, because the last place he wanted to be was the middle seat. Now, he could have bought the extra comfort seat. He could have bought the big seat up front, which would have probably contained him, fairly well. Anyway, he gets up, and the plane is fairly full. And, we tried to assure him, and he was apologizing to us. I'm like, dude, calm down. Everything's all right. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat it, man.
You're such a nice man.
Listen, I don't want to make the guy feel worse.
Okay, we get it.
Because again, he's a very congenial, nice guy.
You've told us he's a big, jolly, fat guy.
Right.
Yeah, he's like Santa Claus's son.
So
we get it.
The flight attendants do some juxtaposing, and they're able to put him across from us on the other side of the aisle, and they move some folks around, and they gave him an aisle right across from us. and they left the middle seat open.
Did they make an announcement like, we have
No,
a very fat
no,
passenger.
no,
If anybody
no,
could just
no.
switch seats so
No.
we could puzzle this lard ass in somewhere. we
Fester,
would
stop! Don't say
certainly
that.
appreciate it.
Fester, you're 350.
Right,
Stop saying
but
that.
I get it, but I know.
You're a big guy.
And then watch MJ say it one more time, but he was such a nice fat guy.
He wasn't. I'm not saying. I'm saying he's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy.
Listen, he could be listening. Hey, listen. If you're listening to the show and you were on my Spirit flight yesterday, why don't you call up and say how nice we were trying to accommodate? The last thing I wanted to do was have this guy's feelings hurt.
I just ate my radio.
Fester, will you stop it, please? What do you think? You've got a license because you're a fat guy?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, this guy was two of you. Or maybe, yeah. Well, close to two, maybe.
I would have called him leader.
All right, maybe 3/4. All right. Hey, listen, maybe you're listening. So, Mr. 22F seat stealer, call me up. Or, and you ended up actually in 22C.
So did you fly with nobody in your middle seat?
Yeah.
Or did they move somebody?
No, we ended up with nobody in the middle. So we had an open middle seat after they moved him. I said, listen, if the guy's listening, I'd love to talk to you, man.
Would you like to take me to lunch?
We stop fast and knock it off.
I can't eat another bite.
I stop it. A waffle thin after dinner mint. Yeah, all right.
Bring me the bucket.
By any chance, if you're listening, sir, 800-990-1047.
I ate my phone.
Fester, will you knock it off? If by any chance, I would like you to call up to say how nice we were in row 22 yesterday.
You were the nicest little man I've ever saw.
800-990-1047.
When I'm Santa Claus, I want to make you my head elf.
800, we stop it. 800-990-1047. If by any chance you're listening, I do want to talk to him.
You should have got his number.
And then I said, hey, at the end we were getting up and, you're waiting for all the aisles to clear. And, of course, for whatever reason on Spirit, because I've flown Spirit quite a bit now after never flying them, but they're just convenient and cheap to Fort Lauderdale to see my parents. So one thing I do notice about Spirit, they have a very high ratio of passengers that want to get up and try to bolt to the front and try to beat the 32 rows in front of them.
Where the hell do you
think
you're going?
Where are you going? Come on. Hello? We exit row by row by row.
Every time.
All right. Anyway.
The only way.
But listen, the clientele is a bit different sometimes on Spirit. And I've just noticed you got a bunch of aisle rushers. I think they're going to beat 32 rows in front of them to the front of the plane to get off. All right, 800-990-1047 if you're listening. This brings to a close over an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ here on the MJ Morning Show. We are packed. The final hour's next. We do have a mystery odor on a Delta flight. Want to talk about that? Oh, the engagement ring legal dilemma when the wedding is off. We have a new determination. I want to give you that. The school bus cameras. The buses that have the cameras now
on the little paddle, the little stop sign,
that are busting drivers that are running around the buses. Man, you're not going to believe how many people have been busted. I have a revision on this. It's crazy. Push-ups. How many push-ups can you do, and what it says about your health? Anyway, latest on the Menendez brothers. Packed. Next. Don't move. The MJ Morning Show continues here on 104.7 FM. This is Q105 at 104.7 FM. And please spread the word that the MJ Morning Show is back here on Q105. It is 8:50. 9 o'clock at the MJ Morning Show and the final hour. Are you thumbing your nose at my choice of rejoiner music? Yeah, you got an issue with my rejoiner? This is a newly added rejoiner, a little newly added bumper music.
Yeah, it just wasn't familiar to me.
Oh, you don't know this song?
No, I know what it is, but I'm not used to hearing it in this capacity.
Well, guess what? Get used to it in this capacity because I like a little na 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 na.
No. I'd rather not. No.
All right, I got 10 phrases that your doctor should never say to you.
Okay.
10 phrases your doctor should never utter in a new study.
Oh, man.
You ready for the never words list?
I have a doctor's appointment early next month.
For what?
Just, well, since I've gotten older.
Can I ask? Because I got another HIPAA situation on my hands.
You know I don't care.
I'm not allowed to talk about this, but the company's freaking out that I talked about this, and I was never told I couldn't talk about these situations.
So it's a privacy issue. By definition, it's not HIPAA.
I realize it. I know that. But
we had some medical people call in.
But we like to generically just refer to anything if you're going to utter or speak about things from a medical standpoint. You know, it doesn't really qualify for HIPAA per se.
Okay, we had some weirdos call in and say, tell MJ he's wrong.
No, it's not HIPAA per se. But we have an issue that's cropped up today. It's me, MJ. It's Fester. There's no Roxanne again. I said too much on Friday's show, and I'm in trouble.
Listen, hopefully it resolves itself and it'll be fine.
Anyway, so I hope Roxanne might be back tomorrow. We'll see. All right. So what were you saying?
No, I want to know what your
what's your doctor thing about?
I now see a doctor every year.
For what?
General fatness and health.
All right.
We do blood work. I have to go to the lab, like a lab core.
Yeah, but you had not been to a doctor in like a decade.
Right. Like 2. I mean,
well, you got treated for your myasthenia gravis.
That's a hospital run.
Right.
But I don't think I had
that was ER stuff.
I don't think I've had a scheduled doctor's appointment since like Clinton's administration.
And then your myasthenia gravis is under control, right?
Yeah. It's under control now.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that.
So anyway, but what's the 10 things?
All right, so here we go. Researchers from the Henry Ford Hospital.
In Michigan.
That's up in Michigan, absolutely. And then also they worked in conjunction with Texas A&M.
That's in Texas.
That these are problematic expressions, not just poor choices of words. They're conversation stoppers and can dramatically shift the power dynamic between the doctor and the patient, often at critical moments when clear communication matters most. These phrases are somewhat commonplace, but they should not be used. You should be very careful. So if you're a physician, watch your use of these phrases. If you're a patient, doctors shouldn't use this, but also don't get freakumulated. Don't get all freaked out. I lost the pen cap to my Sharpie. It's drying up.
You gonna be okay?
Nah,
I got more Sharpies over here.
I'm kind of OCD.
You need one? I got a green one over here if you need one.
My blue Sharpies it's drying out. It's drying out, I say.
Want a greenie? I got a greenie.
No, I want my blue cap. Can't find my blue cap. Drop my blue cap. Anyway,
it's not going to dry out this segment, is it?
Well, it's already dry. It's been uncovered for a while.
Then it's time to pitch it. You got another one.
The never words list.
Right.
So doctors, don't use these words. Don't use these phrases. Patients, don't freak out. Number one, there's nothing else we can do. Okie dokie.
That's pretty much the end of it.
There's nothing else we can do. You don't want to hear the doctor say that. Here's another one. She will not get better. Ow. Withdrawing care. That's like giving up, right? Withdrawing care.
That's end of life stuff.
Oh my God. And these are actual phrases, apparently, that have been used. This one's awful. Circling the drain.
Circling the drain?
What doctor will say that you're circling the drain? Oh, my God. But apparently some doctors have zero couth, zero bedside manner.
You can't put it a little more eloquently?
Yeah, you're circling the... Listen, how do I put this? You're circling the drain. All right, here's the next one. Do you want us to do everything? Yes. If you're in a medical situation, if you're in a crisis, a dilemma, yes, I want you to do everything. Here's another one, and this is kind of converse. Everything will be fine. So what is that? If everything is not going to be fine, that if a doctor says everything's going to be fine? I mean, you kind of want a real assessment, but you don't want to be clobbered over the head. How do you do it with some finesse?
Everything may not be fine.
Yeah.
There's still a level of change.
Another couple of words that doctors shouldn't use. These are the never words list. Try not to use this. When referring to an illness, don't say fight or battle. Yeah, fight or battle your illness. Apparently those are...
I don't know. I mean, there's a whole campaign about fighting certain diseases.
Another one. What would he want?
Who's?
I don't have context on that, but I can imagine. Here's another one.
Oh, like what would the patient's like incapacitated?
Yeah, maybe like, well, what would he want us to do? What would? Yeah, I think that's probably what I was thinking.
Yeah.
All right, next I have two more here. I don't know why you waited so long to come in.
I've had that before.
Listen, it is what it is. If they've waited a long time, even if they've let things progress and it would have been a whole lot easier and the prognosis might have been better if they would have come in earlier. Yes. I don't know why you waited so long to come in.
I don't know why, but here you are.
And then finally, what were your other doctors doing or thinking? Oh, that's like a condescending, like, oh man, who's this clown show you went to? What the hell were they doing? What were your other doctors thinking? What? Yeah, it's a little problematic when your new doctor says that about some previous doctors. So there we go. We have the list.
I'm not comfortable with any of those sentences.
Yeah, they're all somewhat problematic. And that's why they're suggesting that doctors
back off of those.
Yeah.
That's why you got to get a living will or something, right?
All right, so what's the issue with the HIPAA deal? So
some people called in. I guess HIPAA.
I know the Roxanne. Oh,
hold on.
Should I dump that?
No.
I'm not supposed to. In the situation that I revealed on Friday, it's turned into this like whole like internal privacy issue. But I kind of used HIPAA, generically. But the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA. Back in the 90s.
So I guess HIPAA establishes standards.
It's a federal law that protects the privacy and security of health information. So I'm not an actual entity, so I don't fall under HIPAA. But what I do fall under is, did I reveal something private on the show, which I didn't think was supposed to be kept private?
I mean, how do you...
On Roxanne's absence on Friday and now again today. Again, if you heard, you heard. If you didn't, well, I don't know what's going to happen. But all I know is I was told to shut the bleep up. I think my job's in jeopardy here. Well, I could be, I could be in like all kinds of trouble. I don't know.
They may ask you to leave, but I know who's not going to kick you out.
I don't know what you're saying.
Me neither. So
So some people said in the situation I was calling it like a HIPAA situation.
I think you called it a HIPAA situation.
I did, but but it's not true HIPAA. It's not what I said.
You're not a doctor giving out information.
I'm not subject to the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act or HIPAA.
You're just a gossiper.
Yeah,
you're just a gandy-gabber. That's what you are.
I was just talking about why she wasn't here on Friday, and it's a very...
You're just talking crap is what you're doing.
Anyway, so moving along. I'm digging my grave even deeper here.
The Gandy Gabber. That's you,
God,
man.
where the hell? We're not on Gandy anymore.
We're right off our block off.
Where's my
the
cap?
alliteration?
Where's my freaking cap?
You gonna stop the whole show for your Sharpie pen cap?
I'm having a little, I'm having like a Rain Man Judge Wapner crisis over here.
I have a whole other pen here.
I know, but
throw it away.
I don't want to throw it away. I like this blue pen. It's a nice royal blue Sharpie. I want the cap. I don't know if there's the cap. Anyway, so we've got another mystery odor. This is odor. This is a Delta flight bound for Washington, D.C. from Raleigh, Durham. An odor appeared. What was the odor?
Can't you drive from Washington to Raleigh in 2 hours?
No. Raleigh to Washington's probably a 5-hour ride.
Really? Okay.
Why don't you go to MapQuest and figure that out?
All right.
Is MapQuest still around?
I think so. RALIGH.
Yeah, so distance. Raleigh to Washington, D.C., it's going to be 5 hours. 5-hour drive.
4 hours, 21 minutes.
All right, there we go. Look at that.
By the time you get to this...
4 hours, pretty close.
By the time I get to the damn airport, get on the thing, it's about 4 hours.
Apparently some stench, an unidentifiable stench popped up on the airplane. I'm just trying to imagine because they didn't, smells like what? I wonder, what does the stench smell like? What? And it popped up in the cabin. So what was the smell? The source of the odor is not confirmed. They're not saying what the odor was. Usually, they'll say it's a smoky smell or some type of, burnt electronic smell. Nothing. It was just an odor.
Did they use the word odor or stench?
I'm thinking it's something crawled up and died up in the first officer's butt. That's what I'm thinking.
Probably. It's really one of the most reasonable excuses.
That's probably it. So we have a new determination. And folks, this is going to vary state to state. But I'm always fascinated with these stories. What happens when an engagement is broken? What happens to the ring? Every state has a different legal precedent for this. You know what the general acceptance is? That if the guy breaks it off,
she keeps it?
She keeps the ring. If the woman breaks it off, the guy gets the ring back. That seems to be sort of the prevailing legality, at least in the stories that I've seen and we've talked about over the years. But we have a little twist here, which I thought was interesting. Now, this is Massachusetts, and this went all the way to the top court, the Supreme Court in Massachusetts.
I'm very involved with this. I have a very specific engagement day for a very specific reason.
All right, well, that's mysterious to me. Will you fill me in a minute then?
Sure, I want to hear what this Massachusetts court had to say.
So the highest court in Massachusetts was asked to decide what should become of, and this is a big ring, a $70,000 engagement ring at the middle of this dispute. The highest court with these massholes ruled on Friday that an engagement ring must be returned to the person who purchased it ending a 60-year rule in Massachusetts that required judges to identify who was to blame for the end of the relationship. So previously in Massachusetts, if you wanted the ring back and it went to court, the judges would decide after hearing testimony or the details, the facts of the case, who was at fault in order to determine whether you keep the ring or have to give the ring back.
But now
Interesting.
it goes back to the purchaser.
Yeah. So listen to this. The case involved Bruce Johnson and Caroline Citino. They started dating in the summer of 2016.
Sound like a lovely couple.
According to court filings. Over the next year, they traveled together, visiting New York, Bar Harbor, Maine, and the Virgin Islands.
Ooh, nice
they
trip.
even visited Italy.
It's a lot of trips.
Johnson paid for the vacations and also gave Citino jewelry, clothing, shoes, and handbags. Eventually, Johnson bought a $70,000 diamond engagement
You're creeping
ring.
me out. You're creeping me out with this.
I'm trying to do.
I know.
I'm trying to do like the Keith Morrison Dateline kind of.
I honestly thought it was going to end after the first sentence or two, but you're really bugging me.
All right, I'll stop. So
he's bought her gifts before. He pays for trips. He gets her this very lavish engagement.
Bruce gave Caroline a $70,000 engagement ring. And in August of 2017, asked Citino's father for permission to marry her. 2 months later, he also bought 2 wedding bands for about $3,700. Tell you what, should have gone to IDC. Should have gone to International Diamond Center.
He would have called us first. We probably could have helped him out a lot.
He could have gotten probably a higher quality diamond for less than the $70K if you go to IDC. Much less. All right, so Johnson said he felt like after that, Citino became increasingly critical and supportive, including berating him and not accompanying him to treatments when he was diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Oh, no.
She's probably all worried about the wang. All right, so at some point, Johnson looked at Citino's cell phone and discovered a message from her to a man that he didn't know. Listen to this message. My Bruce is going to be in Connecticut for 3 days. I need some playtime. Oh.
Okay. So they break up.
All right, so listen. Listen to the message. I mean, this is from the legal proceedings. This is admitted evidence. So Caroline, the woman, sends a message to an unidentified man. My Bruce is going to be in Connecticut for 3 days. I need some playtime. So he finds the message from the man, including a voicemail, in which the man referred to Citino as Cupcake. Hey, Cupcake. I've got your playtime right here, Cupcake.
Cupcake.
And they didn't see enough of each other. So so the mystery man wants to see more of Cupcake. Wants to lick her frosting, I guess. So Citino has said the man was just a friend. Oh, baby, you got what I need.
But
Johnson ended the engagement, but ownership of the ring has been in flux due to our situation where, well, it would involve removing a vowel or removing a consonant. A trial judge initially concluded that Citino was entitled to keep the ring, reasoning that Johnson's mistakenly thought Citino was cheating on him and called off the engagement. An appeals court found that Johnson should get the ring. So lower court said she keeps the ring. Appeals court said that the guy, Johnson Bruce, gets the ring back. In September, the case went before the Massachusetts Supreme Court. This is the highest court in the land.
I mean, the land of that little state of Massachusetts.
No, it's the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Get your facts straight, Momo.
Whatever.
So what did they decide?
I gave it to her if I would have given it to her on a holiday, it would have been a gift.
Right.
If he would have given her this as a Christmas gift, he wouldn't be able to get it
But
back.
hold on. But what if you give it on a holiday?
And then
but it still would not be a gift if it was an engagement ring. It's an engagement ring, even if you give it on a holiday.
Don't give it on a holiday. That really muddies up the waters there. Well, it was a holiday. It was a gift.
I don't see the muddiness.
I gave it to her on December 23rd.
I don't see the muddy waters.
Months later, I told her why I gave it on December 23rd, and it really killed the mood for a while.
All right. Hey, folks, we have the final chunk of the MJ Morning Show coming up in minutes, and there's a lot to get to. Including the school bus, the number of tickets given out for the idiots that drive around the school buses when the flashing lights and the stop signs out. This is staggering. This is really dramatic. And this is Hillsborough County. I'll get to that in a second. Oh, I didn't get to the push-ups. I got Menendez. I got so much stuff. I'm gonna have to push stuff off till tomorrow. We've got so much. But we're back in minutes on the MJ Morning Show. Hey, I am driving a veteran's. Monday morning, it is Veterans Day. If you know a veteran, please thank that veteran for their service to this country. From me personally, MJ, if you're a veteran, thank you for serving this country. Wherever you serve, whether it's Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and yes, Coast Guard. Thank you. The Coast Guard is often forgotten, and that's a shame. I like my Coasties.
What about the Merchant Marines? That's not an armed force.
They don't qualify.
I was recruited to play football at the Merchant Marine Academy.
And guess what? Ship hands preventing a Costco container from falling off a freighter into the Indian Ocean. They don't count either.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Happy Veterans Day.
Oh, Andrew wants to know, are there any Space Force veterans?
Oh yeah, that's right, Space Force. I mean, I guess if you would
Space Force. What? Wait a second.
Where's your sound effect?
Who keeps turning this off? Don't turn my Space Force.
I mean, the Space Force started in 2019, so if you served 3 or 4 years, you'd be out.
Well, you could have served 5 years almost. Yeah,
and sure.
If you're out, you're a veteran of Space Force. That's a very good point.
The uniforms do look a lot like Star Trek. I mean, it just does.
Logical. So, is there any update on the monkeys? Can you check and see? Because this morning, 25 of the 43 monkeys were captured. Is that correct?
Yesterday, late afternoon. So the story broke last night.
Yeah, there was a 6 or 7 o'clock story from the Associated Press that the monkeys that were loose in South Carolina, that I believe 25 of the escaped monkeys were captured, and that 18 monkeys remain on the loose. Has that number been updated? Or are we still going with 25 captured monkeys?
25 is still the number.
Okay.
Would you like to touch my monkey?
Don't touch the monkeys.
So they found the one.
Oh, hang on a minute. Andrew's correcting us, saying that merchant marines can be veterans. Are they technically a veteran? Hold on, Andrew, hang on. Let me interrupt this monkey business. All right, so Andrew, hold on. Professor, what did you find versus what is Andrew?
I didn't look into it. I'm just telling you,
Oh.
I remember when I was in high school, the Merchant Marine Academy came, and they asked to speak to me about playing football there. And the guy was like, you're going to spend 6 months a year playing football. I'm like, great. You go, what about the other 6 months? He goes, you're going to be on a boat. And I'm like, that's not for me.
All right, so Andrew, our producer in the booth, can you give us some detail on this?
I
don't want to short shrift them.
Service, Merchant Marines held rank, wore uniforms, saluted, and served under military justice, but they got paid union wages. They were denied veteran status until 1988.
So I would have been a veteran if I went to the Merchant Marine Academy, and I would have been the worst left tackle in the history of their football program.
From 1988 forward, Merchant Marines are considered veterans?
I think it's in, Kings Point, New York?
Or you also have people that pronounce it veteran. Veteran versus veteran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Veterans Day.
Or I say Monday.
What's the other one?
Well, most people say Monday, but for whatever reason, Tuesday's weird. So some people say Tuesday, but some say Tuesday. You ever hear that?
No.
Tuesday?
Yeah, people who don't speak well say
No, I'm
Tuesday.
telling you. Listen, some people will say not as much Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday.
Tuesday?
But Tuesday. Listen for it. Some people will not say Tuesday. It's like the only day of the week where they alter the D-A-Y at the end. Just trust me on this. Just start paying attention, and you're going to start hearing. It's like once you see it, you can't unsee it, that kind of thing. Once you hear it, you can't unhear it. Trust me.
So Merchant Marines are veterans.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, back over to the monkeys.
Would you like to touch my monkey?
They said don't touch the monkeys. All right, so 25 have been captured. Folks, you had 43 research monkeys. These rhesus macaques were let out accidentally from a research facility in South Carolina. And as of Saturday afternoon, only one monkey was captured.
Right. So
and now 25 have been captured and 18 remain on the loose with their monkey business.
One was caught on Saturday, and then 24 more were caught yesterday.
Right. So Saturday was a lousy day, and then it was a banner day on Sunday.
They really pride themselves. They say the monkeys are close. They should catch them soon, but let them have a little fun right now.
Yeah, they're just kind of hanging out. Anyway, so there was one other thing. Why do I want to bring this back up?
So you could play the "Don't Touch My
No,
Monkey"?
no. There was another reason why I wanted to bring this back up, and I forgot. Son of a why I brought it back up for a reason, and I can't remember I'll see if I remember it. All right, this is amazing. This is incredible. The number of tickets that have been issued for these scofflaws. Yeah, but you know what? It's more than a scoff. This is like a danger to kids. These idiots that will drive around a school bus's red lights or the stop arm coming out of the side of the bus. Who does this? What kind of a turd on the road are you to do that? Well, this is incredible. So there was a county grace period, and that handed out 10,000 warnings. But this is just unbelievable where they are now. They're over 13,000 violations.
Wow.
Have been handed out since the middle of September. So this is the latest. That is 13,000 cars
I've seen
will
that before.
drive around a red flashing school bus light or the stop arm. Oh, man, I don't want to wait the 30 seconds that it's going to take for the kid to get off the bus and safely cross. I'm going to try to beat the kid getting off. What is that? Are you smarter than a fifth grader? What's that? What was that TV show?
Smarter than a fifth grader.
Are you faster than a fifth grader? Come on, don't do that, you idiot.
So I've seen people the bus is stopping and the arm is just going out. The kid is still clearly on the bus.
Doesn't matter.
And
as soon as the red lights come on, you got to stop.
I'm with you.
But 13,000 plus violations given out since the middle of September, that is an enormous number. And you're like, what the? I mean, I would think,
All right, I thought the law was when the paddle comes out, when the stop sign flips out.
I would think 300 cars maybe, but 13,000 plus signs?
What are they going to do with all this revenue?
That is insane. And it's, by the way, it's $225 for each ticket. So let me do the math. I'll do the math. Let me grab the calculator. I got 13,000 violations times $225. Holy crap. $2,925,000 in violations.
What are they going to do with this new windfall of cash?
I think you give it to the teachers. Well, the teachers are already getting more money because of the amendment passage.
Let's give it to the bus drivers.
Yeah.
Bus drivers start showing
Oh, no,
up.
I'm sorry. It wasn't. It was Hillsborough County. So, yeah, not Hillsborough County voted for
a referendum.
Yeah, on increased pay for teachers and aides. And now this is also Hillsborough County. So right now, you're looking at 2 months, September to October, October to not even midway to November, and you're sitting at $2,925,000 in revenue from turds that try to go around buses with stop signs and flashing red lights. So if you extrapolate that, that's 2 months.
I mean, they could make like $9 million a year.
Dude, if you take let me take the additional months. So if I take 10 more months, right?
Well, I mean, there's not school every month, but
that's true.
So
yeah, all right, so I would have to figure through.
Let's say there's 9 months.
It would have to be like mid-August to like mid-May or something.
If we're a third of the way through the school year, right? Because the first quarter is already up, we're already in second quarter. So let's say we're a third of the way through the school year. This is essentially $3 million. They can make $9 million a year, potentially $8.5 million a year.
Oh yeah,
that's incredible.
I mean, that's good money. So that's a serious windfall. Yeah, I think you give that money to teachers, or you fix up schools that need help,
repairs, all kinds of stuff you could do with this money.
Well, I hope people learn, and I'd rather there be less revenue because there are less tickets and make the kids safer. I think that's what we all want here. All right, so I mentioned earlier, I'm going to push the push-ups, which is very fitting. I'm going to push the push-up story to tomorrow, and we're going to have to do a test live on the air because there is new medical research out. The Hold the Mayo Clinic, they did some research on your age category and how many push-ups you should be able to do, and this is also an indicator of health.
Oh.
So, Fester, I can't wait to test you tomorrow.
What do you mean you can't wait? It's not going to be that long.
You think Roxanne's going to be able to do a push-up because you kind of need your... Oh, I can't say that. Oh, hang on. Erase that. Remove that.
She has her hands.
Anyway, push-up. Well, but y'all see. All right, hang on. I'm not allowed to talk about it. I can't mention it. I didn't say anything. I said nothing. All right, so the push-ups tomorrow, and this is really interesting. So what category, what age group are you in, and how many push-ups should you be able to do according to the famous Mayo Clinic? That's coming up. And this is interesting because the prosecutors the prosecutors that tried the Menendez brothers back in 1989, or actually, they killed the parents in 89. They went to trial in, I think, 96.
Yeah,
finally. But the prosecutors that tried the Menendez brothers, Lyle and Eric, are saying no way in hell. So the lead prosecutor and the assistant, they're saying no way in hell should they be released. And you know what? The release of the Menendez brothers might be in a little bit of trouble because the district attorney that was for the release is a total ass clown that was just defeated. So you have the guy's name out in L.A. was Gascon.
Yeah.
So Gascon has been the L.A. Prosecutor for years. And there have been, I think, at least 2 recall votes to try to get him thrown out, and he survived them because he cares more about the criminal than the victim. And here, this incompetent, George Gascon, was just defeated out in Los Angeles. So all of this buzz about the Menendez brothers being released.
Yeah, they're not going to elect this new guy, Huckman.
Yeah.
And the first thing he's going to do is say, you know what? Let's get rid of the most infamous murderers in the, one of the biggest high-profile cases in our county.
So this guy, Nathan Hochman, defeated the district attorney out in Los Angeles, George Gascon, by like 20 points. This new guy had 60%, and George Gascon had just under 40%. So, I mean, a huge difference in percentage. It was about 600,000, 650,000 votes separating. So clearly, Los Angeles residents wanted this Gascon gone. The reason why I bring this up is because this Menendez story has taken on a new life with the Netflix documentary, with the whole, monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story. And you got the former Los Angeles County District Attorney, Pamela Brozanich, or Brozanic, however you pronounce it. She says they do not need to be released, does not believe the new evidence indicating that they were routinely sexually abused. She says they killed their parents. She casted doubts over the alleged abuse.
Yeah, a new administration is not going to let these people out as their first act.
Yeah, so the old district attorney from back in the day says they slaughtered their mother, their father. Why should they live among us? And this George Gascon announced last month that his office was recommending the two brothers now in their 50s should be eligible for parole, and that this new incoming guy might put that in jeopardy. And again, this is an L.A. case, but this has become national news, and there are tons of people right here in the Tampa Bay area that are all hooked up on this Menendez Netflix documentary.
There's been as many Menendez documentaries as there has been OJ documentaries.
Oh,
it's that level of case.
It's obviously a very, very big story, and it's got renewed attention over the last couple of years, and even more with the last couple of months with this Netflix story. So, I think that their release is now going to be in jeopardy.
You have fun in San Quentin, Lyle.
Quentin.
What did I say?
Quentin. It's Quentin.
What did I say? San Quentin.
No, it's not an I, it's an E. San Quentin. Yeah.
Not how Johnny Cash said.
Well, that was Folsom.
He went to both. He used to tour. I think he toured a bunch of the California prisons.
Did he?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't count. If you're one of these Menendez brothers groupies, don't count on them getting out of there. And why did I bring up the monkeys again? There was a specific reason why I brought the monkeys.
Asked for an update. I thought it was more just like asking for an update if any more have been caught in the last couple of hours.
I thought there was something else. Maybe
25 monkeys.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, with that, I think we're going to call it a day. I've got a lot of stuff to get to tomorrow. So we got to do the push-up test.
All right.
Also, man, there's an interesting item I saw regarding Parents' Weekend at colleges. Now, Michelle and I have gone to we've gone to two Parents' Weekends. We went to Julian's Parent Weekend back in the fall of last year. That's his freshman year. But Michelle and I missed the NYU Parent Weekend this year because hurricanes.
Did you go to Chloe's?
We went to.
When she was at what school?
She was University of New Hampshire.
One of those states.
Yeah, New Hampshire, not Connecticut. But I've got a really interesting story about Parents' Weekends at college. Apparently, there's stuff going on, which I'll explain. Oh, there's a nose job story I got to talk about. Holy crap, I didn't get to this. So that'll be tomorrow. Anyway, we got a lot of stuff for tomorrow. And then, of course, the MJ Morning Show push-up test will be tomorrow right here on Q105 104.7 FM. Have a fantastic day, folks. If you want to get a hold of me, my DMs, my direct messages are always open on my Instagram feed. Give me a follow, Certified MJ Radio, and my email is my private email. I'm the only one that goes through it. MJ at MJMorningshow.com. If you got something great for the show, you want to make contact, good way to do it. MJ at MJMorningshow.com. Folks, have a great day. We'll see you back here tomorrow on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Will Roxanne be back tomorrow? I don't know. If she does come back, or when she comes back, are we allowed to talk about? Probably not. It's just a weird situation. I probably said too much already this morning. I'm sure I'm going to be called into the management's office here, which we'll see. 9:47. Folks, have a great day. See you tomorrow. MJ Morning Show on Q105. And do me a favor. Let's be careful out there.
Download the app now. Get the Q105 app and listen to us anywhere. Powered by...